Fish are friends, not food.
Thank you so much, Blue Spider-Man, for the follow. You know, fantastic. You are fantastic. Hello, Raptor. Welcome in. Great to see you. We'll be getting started shortly.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
After just having fun with the channel points. I'm here.
What's up, Eric? All right, now you can actually hear me.
Yes, I could hear you.
Wait, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. You should have my stream audio, so you can just adjust volume as you may need. But it should be pretty good unless Discord is doing crazy stuff to it.
I'll double check on that on my end. Discord. Maybe I'll just a little bit.
Just 1:30 a.m. Okay, that's not too bad then.
Yeah, just a few more minutes. I'll do my introductions.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm actually gonna max you out here. Actually, yeah, or can you give me a little bit more in Discord, or is that too much? Because I would take a little bit more.
Sorry, what was that? Okay. Yeah. A second. Because even though I thought I'd mute this, I guess it's not muting. Like, where do I go to adjust? There we go. How can I see? Exit out of this. Good. I'm going to voice settings. Or maybe how about this? Thank you so much, Shutter, for the follow. All right, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So my toggle button's not quite working on. Oh. All right, one. Oh, okay. I'm live. I'm live. All right. Let me do my quick little introductions now. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Hope your Thursday is going well. Mine was a little juggled and busy and a little just a little late on a little bit things, but again, took the time to get things set up and ready, especially for our special guest today here on Snap and Chat, the second edition, who I will introduce in a little second. Quick little thing, as always, got to celebrate one good thing, which we already started to get that starting. If my audio works. Never mind, I guess it doesn't work. But just to celebrate. So thankfully to those, a little voice in my head is talking to me, and I'm like, I cannot get my thoughts straight at all. But no, before we get started to introduce our guests, usually I would have a soundbite that says another hole in the wall, but I guess I need to fix some things, which don't worry, I'm working on that. To celebrate, adding more photos to the wall, we actually got a lot of good fun stuff here. We got actually a couple follows. We had one from Doll Artist Studio, who's contributing this group photo from a local con right there. Then we have Blue Spider-Man, who is contributing this Sweeney Todd cosplay photo to the wall. And then Shutter, am I right? I couldn't read my handwriting for a second. Shutter Down Prods, your photo is this photo from a fandom that I cannot recall at the current moment, but those are contributions to wall. Any follow, rates, bits, or just some fun moment, it's something that's added to the wall. So thank you so much for adding those. And the photo for the stream is this photo of Kylo Ren, who I shot back in 2021, and it's to celebrate for this stream. I need to turn down the music on my end here. Thankfully, the stream end is not too bad. But yeah, no, I was so happy how the first episode of Snap and Chat went with Haley's signed photo. It was just so great, just kind of chill, collaborative, and just kind of just like a good informal interview format for it. And just fun, just talking about cosplay and just sort of like many different aspects of photography itself. And so kind of like as I've been sort of developing this sort of like segment show, I've been thinking, all right, who to add next? And I kind of thinking what would be nice is to alternate between someone I know versus someone that either like know or close in like my circuit versus trying to do someone and interview someone outside of my circuit. To which I thought it would be great to interview today a good guest that has been on my channel a number of times. In fact, he's been on my channel in chat, but this is the first time that we've ever had to talk in person, and it's crazy. We literally just talked to each other. Oh my goodness. All right, I need to figure out what's going on with my sounds, but thank you Nicholas, for the follow there. I'll get your photo in a second. But but basically yeah, so this person here who has been on my chat and I've been on his chats a number of times, this awesome photographer who has built an amazing Twitch community, and especially supporting photography itself on Twitch, because it is something of a niche in the Twitch community. In fact, it is surprisingly how there is no category for photography. And I know a few waves of people trying to push onto this bits here and there, but I'm excited to be able to introduce to you our guest today, who I've had to mute the audio for a quick second here, but is my guest ready? All right. So, all right. Let me introduce to you, Brendan. Oh, I think I need your camera on, because I don't see it on the.
my bad. Everything is a mess and everything is broken always.
Everything is broken. Everything is crazy when you're.
Okay, are we back?
Now you're on there. Okay. Oh my God, you have a guest. Hello, Mapleglades.
I do. She was jumping up. Hey, Ostro, good to see you.
What? So what's your kitty's name?
Yeah, she was like, "What do you do?" My cat? Her name is Kira.
Kira. I don't know where my cat Hanky is. He would usually kind of join in here, but he's being a teenager right now. But yeah, so
he's being so well behaved now. I think it was because I've been gone like working the last like week, and it's been just kind of crazy, and she's been like waiting for me ever patiently at home, and then I get home and she's just like
no, and kind of just crazy enough where it's like I unfortunately am the second to Hanky. He always loves his mom primarily, but once in a while he'll maybe show some affection or cuddles. He enjoys me for the plays mostly, I think, but it is kind of funny with cats in general. But no, yeah, thank you so much, Mapleglades, for coming in onto the second episode of Snappin' Chats. And it's just excited to have you here. So for those...
Good to be here.
Good to be here. For those, do you want to make a little quick introduction to yourself, for at least my channel?
Yeah, so for sure. Hi, I'm Maple. A lot of folks might be familiar if you're familiar with photography on Twitch. Mostly because I've probably come into your chat and yelled at you about your mic placement. But the oh man, it's like it's weird doing an intro when usually I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. But I'm an opera singer by trade. I used to be a deathcore vocalist and a guitarist back in the day when I was like growing up and stuff. But then I went to school, took voice lessons and stuff, got involved with classical music and performance and singing and stuff like that. And it was really fun. So I stuck with it. I did my master's in Toronto. And then after that, went to Montreal, and I had a 2-year contract singing with the opera company here in Montreal for until COVID. And that was a great time for people whose profession is essentially being loud and spitting at old people. So everything kind of got put on hold, which was fine. Performances and stuff and whatever got canceled, but it was during that time I like right when I got to Montreal was actually like right when I started getting interested in like photo video stuff. I mean, I was always interested in it in the way where I had made Lego home movies and stuff like when I was a kid, and like
Oh, okay.
you know, I would take my first digital camera to like summer camp and stuff, and like taking photos, and it was like that was all great. All the pieces were there that should have been like you should have just immediately known that you were going to get into like production stuff. Yes, hi, hello. And it wasn't until like grade 12 when I was like about to go off to college, and it was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I got a sorry, I'm just like giving you the whole rundown.
No,
Everyone's
no.
just like,
Honestly,
there are people
this.
in my own chat that don't know this.
Well, no, it's kind of perfect because that is actually a question I have: is how did your photography journey begin? So honestly, you just went right into the first questions.
Just save you the freaking time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so basically I was like about to graduate high school, and it was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I can't lifeguard and live in my parents' basement forever. I should probably have something going on. And at that time I was already getting interested in like audio production and recording for like bands and stuff like that. So I kind of just pulled on that string a little bit more. I did a work ed program at a recording studio in my city, and it felt like Christmas every day when it was like you get to go to a recording studio and like mic drums. And I was like, that's so sick. That's so like, wait, you could just go and like play with all these instruments and see which one sounds different and like put it in a different place and like blah 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 blah. So I started in audio. I went to college and I did audio production, a little bit of video production in there. I wasn't at that time into photography, but it was that audio stuff that kind of sat in the back of my brain until basically COVID, where everyone was doing stuff online, and I was like already like had my master's degree in opera and stuff, and was like, I know how to do audio. And I was just already interested in video, so it was like, okay, well, here's just everything all at once. So when COVID happened, I basically pivoted. Like, I still sing, I still do stuff, but there's way more need for multimedia stuff within the sphere of opera and classical music. And there are so few of us because it's such a weird niche. So it's like me and like what, four other photographers that do like classical music stuff that like get hired by these companies, and almost nobody does like audition recordings and concert recordings and stuff like that. They just need like archival stuff. So it's like, okay, sweet, I'll show up, I'll do that, and then they pay you. It's like, so I think I got very, very lucky, very blessed to be like in that sphere, kind of going in and then just naturally be like, oh, and you have your camera with you, great. Um, so then it became my like, I was all like, obviously I love doing it. I love just bringing my camera to stuff, taking pictures of my friends and this and that. But then it was like, actually, you're good at shooting stuff for like concerts and stuff, you know, in a way that I'm actually just I'm going to take my just chatting overlay here.
Actually, no, it's kind of fun. Please do not mind that my headphones just literally died like for 10 seconds. And I just saw you.
Oh no.
But yeah. I quickly was like,
also, hi everyone.
No, as I said, you were like chatting there, and just suddenly I'm like, my headphones was like power off. I'm like, uh-oh. And thankfully, like I came prepared and was like, I literally was like brave enough where it's like, let me bring a cord just in case and plug it in. I'm like, oh my goodness, Murphy's Law was I was predicting on that. Kawhi, yes. Yes, he does have a cat, and his cat's name is Kira. So
I do. Hey, thanks for the follow, man.
So how long have you had Kira for? Or are you done with your stories? I should.
No. I'm so basically opera singer, was always interested in multimedia stuff, sung at the opera company. COVID happened, lots of need for multimedia stuff, dug in, did lots of that, and then still do that now that things have opened up. So like, we'll get into it. I shot the season opening for the opera last night, and like it's been a busy week, but it's good. All right, Raptor, go have a good Petco.
Yeah, thank you for the lurk.
Have a good chat. I will have a good sha. That's a little bilingual joke for you there.
A cha bilingual. Is that like Is that English, French,
What
or
brings you by, faceless coward?
so?
How'd you find us? I'm always like surprised when people come in. Sorry, I'm just tell me if you want me to like stay on track or if you want to like how do you want to do chat? Because like I'm a very like read chat immediately, address it. But
Honestly,
if
that's a
you're
good
like
question.
maybe
That's a good question, honestly, because last stream it was like just me running the chats, but then how we are doing dual chats here. So actually, I should do a little shout out for those on my channel. You could go to Mapleglades' channel right here, as we are co-streaming. Actually, it probably has that indication anyways. Now that I think about it,
I think there's a lot of places that we can follow each other from here, but it's fine. The effort is still appreciated.
Yeah. So
I
mean,
recommended. Oh, that's sick. Okay, so faceless coward. I'll catch you up real quick. I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer and stuff. If you missed the little intro thing, I have a cat. We do lots of photography based content and stuff on here, as well as like I do like IRL streaming. I love IRL like tech stuff. I have a longboard. I try to take you guys on really fast trips across Montreal when it's not dumping snow like it currently is right now. And I'm trying to put that into the back of my brain because it pisses me off. I am so done with the snow. But
we just lost all our snow here in Chicago. It's been like 50 degrees. I'm like, oh, I need to still do a snow shoot. I'm jealous you still got snow.
Yeah.
So maybe let's go
anyway,
before we go.
So if you have any multimedia questions and stuff, by all means, let's chat it up. We've got a cool photo community if you're into that. But
yeah, so maybe
join the Discord, stuff like that. Go on. Okay.
So maybe let's just get right into the photo editing before we go into the next question here. So I'm going to switch over.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was back and forth on what to photo edit tonight, but I'm going to be working on this one of my shoots at MagFest that I went to about a month or so ago. And I was like, I should probably work on these just because they're paid shoots. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. What about you, Mapleglades?
I am I'm gonna turn off the Discord side chain that was happening. Sorry. I was like watching it happening. It was weird that it was happening for you and not for me. So I was like, oh, that's weird. So today I am gonna be going through some photos from the season launch of the opera here in Montreal. You are going to see the good and the bad and the ugly with this. And actually, I'll pull up my like Lightroom co-stream. And does this work? It does. Nope. Except for you. I have the Discord window has the mic settings pulled up. Yay. Okay, there we go.
Y'all good?
Hey, Steven. Welcome in.
So
here we are.
Sorry, just kind of just editing it.
That's his.
And vice versa on mine end. But so are you just editing or are you kind of what is your process right now that you're planning to do?
Well, we're gonna see if my computer can keep up while doing all of this stream stuff. That's gonna be straight up the first thing. Usually when gonna be making dinner, so hopefully going full look. Hope you're doing well. You too, man. Also, your new pickup sounds so sick. Steven Shred is a Twitch metal guitarist and a friend of the Photo Fam, and is fantastic. So if you guys like chuggy deathcore, go follow Steven. He's very cool. So when I shoot an event like this, I have two bodies. So I use an R6 II and an R5. The R5 is my main shooter camera. When I shoot, I overshoot basically everything. I'll try to get sleep again as well, but it will lurk. So I'm ready to do so. Enjoy the co-stream. Would love to say absolutely. Well, I mean, we leave our VODs up, so it's all good. You can always come back later.
Yeah,
all right, have a good sleep.
I think I'll be uploading this on YouTube as well.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Feel free to trim it if I say something stupid.
Well, I'm usually like, all right, am I really gonna go through, edit through? But I'm like, I'll probably just keep it as is, but I don't know, in due time. If it does become a podcast format, maybe I might have to, but que sera. But anyway, so you mentioned about how
when I
oh sorry, yeah, because you are still talking about no, I guess you are still talking about sort of like your workflow process. So please continue.
Yeah, so my workflow process when I shoot, I from one of my cameras shot 1,700 photos last night.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of photos. Some people are like, but you're such an overshooter. Be like, not having the shot is worse than obviously going through and you know not having the shot is worse than having to cull is what I'm trying to say. So I go through in the I'm slow. This is pre Capture One Maple. So who knows? Maybe I will move there. Capture One's way faster for culling.
Mm-hmm.
But basically I'll go through, I'll find things with any potential at all, and I'll P for pick. And this is what I do. I go through, I find anything that I could maybe make into anything ever, and I'll flag it because I know that for me, anything that I'm not flagging, I'm nuking. I'm nuking from the drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my approach. I'm like, oh, it might look good in black and white, or it might be like a fun one to zoom in on later or something like that. I'm just like, I'm pretty generous with my flagging because I know that things are gonna get crazy, you know?
Yeah, I usually use Capture One, Aftershot to help cull the photos a little bit, but usually it kind of sometimes it just labels them, and I'm like, all right, at least something to consider. But I always seem to still manually cull as I go, so kind of like a little bit there. So you mentioned a little bit earlier about how right around during COVID, you started doing multimedia kind of stuff. When was it that you started to get into the Twitch scene, if you will? Because you said that you kind of got into a little bit of photography and all.
Yeah, I think I got into streaming somewhere around that 2018, 2019 area. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years. Maybe, well, when did I make that? I think probably 2019. 2019, I started streaming. I think I might have made my Twitch account before that, but sorry, it's like really hard. I'm probably not going to be like doing a lot of like editing while putting my thoughts together because like I straight up just have to like talk.
No, fair. Do what you need to.
Yeah, I started in like 2019. I was like, it was right along that time. I don't know, for whatever reason, I watched like an OBS tutorial or something like that because I was interested in. Hey, Haley.
Hey, Haley.
I saw a tutorial or something on streaming or something like that. I think it was because it was around that time where people were making YouTube videos, people were, you know, McKinnon was popping off, Casey Neistat's popping off, all of those like YouTuber influencer people are just like going nuts. And I was like, that's cool. And I had a camera, I was starting to take photos, but I didn't want to just like go in and make YouTube videos like everyone else who picks up a camera. They'll be like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And then you start pumping out the worst content you've ever seen in your G-dang life. And it's like, okay, like it's fun to do that and it's fun to try that. But also, like, Tom, you don't count. You make very good content. But so basically I was like, hey, what if I just like streamed it? Because I know that I can edit. I know that I can go through and like show people interesting things of how I do something or how I see it or whatever. I found that valuable more than somebody giving me an exact answer about how to edit in black and white, right? Like it's like you can copy people's settings, you can use people's presets, but if you don't know why you're doing things or what makes something look good, even if you throw a preset on that's like 90% of the way there, if you don't know how to tweak it and make it yours, it kind of is just a preset that's almost there, you know? So I
No.
was like, well, I liked to watch. I actually think I've started streaming photo stuff because I wish that there were other people doing the same thing.
Hmm.
So I don't know. So I played a lot of 7 Days to Die, like to the void. I think like one of my friends would like pop in and we'd hang out for like 3, 4 hours. Like they'd be in chat and I would be running around playing 7 Days to Die on my own. And then, you know, I don't even know how much streaming I did at the old place. I really started like streaming in 2020. Like
Mm.
because we moved to this new place in COVID. And from there, it was like, oh, well, here's my space. I might as well start messing around with it. It kind of just looked like a stream space, and it worked to put my camera there. And I was like, why don't I try this? Have you tried Darkness Falls? Is that a game? Because it's certainly not the movie about the Tooth Fairy.
Darkness Falls. I'm not familiar with that either. I'll have to check on my like Steam or something like that. So, but no, yeah, because it's kind of interesting because I started getting into. I was
best
when
mod for 7 Days to Die. Ooh, okay,
oh,
okay.
okay. Fair. Yeah, so I think back.
I will take a friggin' look.
I think in like 2018 or so. Oops, that's the wrong window. Now that's opening up there. Back in like 2018, I was like starting to do like Facebook live streams where I just kind of just showed like my computer screen and was just like, all right, just chatting with people because I kind of thought, all right, I'm just sitting around editing, might as well make a little social or something to that degree. And then it was only until like 2019 to when I rebranded my like logo and my photo gig. That's when I was like, all right, let me start testing this out and going into photo editing, to which a lot of people enjoyed that. It was almost like watching a sushi chef, like, you're sitting right along tableside watching the sushi master just roll your nigiri right there or something like that. So it was kind of like something
it's
I
just
dived into.
showing how the sausage is made.
Exactly.
But
How the
like
sausage is made.
sausage.
Classy sausage. I never heard that expression before, honestly. That's a little kind of funny there.
You've never heard the I don't want to see how the sausage is made. Just
oh no, you're right. Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, you're right. I guess it's just been a while that I've heard it in context. So it's just kind of funny.
Fair.
So
to be fair, I haven't said that a lot in terms of photography. People usually don't like to be quote unquote the sausage.
The one wants to be the sausage, except for the king of sausage, according to Ferris Bueller. Fudge, I'm blanking the quote's name, like the sausage king of Chicago or whatever. I'm ruining the quote. I'm ruining the quote. And of course, I'm a Chicago native here.
No, you're fine. We got a lot of stuff going on.
No. So you kind of mentioned about how you have your R5 and R6. Is there any kind of like besides your camera, what's something you never leave home without, or what type of lens do you like to use most often?
Oh, my favorite lens of all time so far has been my Samyang autofocus 85mm 1.4 for RF. It is impossible to find now because Canon gave Samyang a cease and desist, and they had to stop making it. So it is now officially priceless because they were making autofocus lenses for the RF mount before they were allowed to.
So kind of like a license
I bought
thing.
Yeah. So they weren't letting that happen, and I managed to snag one before that all happened, which is great. Yeah, the 85 is always in my bag. I just think it's freaking dreamy. And yeah, I think I like. I think I at one point used it like too much for sure. But because all of my photos kind of started to kind of look the same, like the person was always the exact different distance away from me, and the compression always was kind of the same. And when you put up a bunch of perfectly quote unquote perfectly composed framed pictures of people and they're all at 85, you suddenly start to see that they all just look the same. Like the background is the same compression, the blur is kind of all the same, and your eye just kind of goes, oh, okay, well, whatever, you know.
Mhm.
It took me some time to really like be okay shooting a little bit wider, but it wasn't until I got my 35 1.4 that it became like a I'm going to proudly shoot 35 instead of 85.
Yeah, for me, it's kind
But
of been back and
if
forth.
anybody's ever, therefore you need a 35 1.2, yes, but I also ding 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 need money for a 35 1.2.
No fair. For me,
But
it's
nobody makes a 35 1.2 for the modern mount, so
hmm,
not
unless
yet
you got like,
anyways.
or unless you get that like RF EF adapter, if
I
you
mean,
will.
sorry,
Not
Nikon.
food.
Oh, Nikon.
Nikon's the only one with the 35 1.2. Sorry,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I meant to say. I meant the cameras that matter. No, I'm just
Ah,
kidding.
what? I was gonna say, I thought you were Canon for a second there.
I am Canon. I am Canon. 35. This is the one thing that Nikon's got that nobody else has right now,
Ah, fair, fair. So
at least to my knowledge. Unsubscribed.
unsubscribe.
No,
I know.
I feel like people like come here just for me to like razz them because I
Okay,
love
well,
them.
actually, what was it like? Razz them or something like that. So it was kind of funny. Where wait, what was it that you said earlier? Cook them or what was it? Or fuck. Oh no, not I know where I'm going. Sorry, because at least to me, I always feel like cameras are kind of like, it's no different from cooking, where you can either use an induction like stove or a fire gas stove, or you can use a non-skillet, or you can use a cast iron, and you have all different tools and things available for you in photography that you can use to, for lack of a better word, cook a photo. Now I have a little good question challenge for you. Since you have a big background in music, can you find a good
Sure.
analogy? So as I said, kind of like how I throw cooking in, because I do enjoy cooking a lot, where it's like I say, all right, someone's microwaving a photo where they're literally throwing a preset on it, to which it's like, all right, they're doing the stovetop, like,
Oh
pan
yeah, no,
skillet.
I have literally the perfect analogy.
Oh, for
Describing exposure to somebody. Oh, sorry, you go on. Ask your
but no,
question.
so just making sure that it is like in the realm of like music or sound, because as I said, I use cooking a lot as analogies, and I'm curious to see if someone does that, or you can find another analogy through a different medium, if you will.
Yeah. So Laz just said like, so cooking open flame is the same as shooting on film, and I'm like, I I guess it's like as close to natural as you can. But the for me, I think, which maybe in more of like an educational explanation sense, trying to explain mic distance and ambient noise of a room coming into a mic is very similar to how you treat flash and ambient exposure when doing photography. So, example, flash, you have to be close enough to the subject, and it has its own quote unquote gain power level, right?
Hmm.
So you can get up close and you fire that big bright flash and you expose properly by bringing your ISO down and stuff. So you can actually have the gain on your recording device or interface or whatever down. But if the mic is closer, the flash or the mic distance is more effective. So you can essentially
Okay.
kill your background noise by having the flash be more close to the subject
Hmm.
in that way. As
Okay.
opposed to flash from a distance, your flash can't throw far enough, and you're going to have to bring up the exposure of the room to see what your subject is. If you do the same thing with a microphone, if your microphone is far away, in order to hear or focus on that subject, you need to bring up the overall exposure. That means everything else in the freaking room. That means fan noise. That means footsteps in the next room, because it's all relative to how far away something is and what is taking up most of the what has the loudest or brightest in terms of photography signal going into
Mhm.
the device. So that's an incredibly nerdy response to that, but um, that is probably as close as I can get without going
Us?
into be like, well, it's like, learning a music score. You can't just do one thing. It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, no, that was well said, because especially for Flash, I've always heard it's like kind of like more of like I'm trying to think like water saturation, like kind of like a fire hose, if you will. So that was like one person instructed it as a comparison. I also know, like, whenever you're doing photo coverage, like my photo professor like described when I was photographing events, saying like you're just fire hosing it. You're fire hosing all your photos, where you're just spraying it all together, like spraying it everywhere, not being concentrated to put out the flames or something like that. So, as I say, it is kind of interesting to
Like
find
in
like
terms
little
of
analogies.
like is that like in terms of overshooting, or is it,
I think
or like what do you
overshooting.
mean?
It was overshooting because the professor I had was for photojournalism. And when I was taking the photos, I guess either I kept it too vague, or it just something to that degree where I was just shooting to shoot, but to
Okay,
not,
you were shooting a
focusing.
lot, but none of it really elevated to the point of this is intentional.
Yes, exactly. So, and that kind of stuck out to me a little bit at degree. So, actually, I guess that's a question. So, did you take any formal classes on photography at all, or was it just a few classes here and there, or has it just been self-taught?
Nah, dude, freaking YouTube University. Literally all of it.
No, fair.
Yeah, I was always interested in it. Like when I had a camera in hand, whether it was like a disposable camera growing up, or my digital camera or whatever. At the time, I wasn't thinking about technical stuff. I wasn't like, oh, well, I need these megapixels so I can crop in. Like, I didn't know what RAW was. My camera certainly didn't shoot RAW. Um, it was like, go out and shoot photos so that you have them later. Like
Mhm.
the most, I have a camera in 2004 kind of thing. Like, you're taking pictures of your friends, and
Mhm.
that's it. Or you're making a guitar video or something because you just learned, a Bullet for My Valentine song, and you're like, want to record it as you play it badly on your Squire Strat.
Oh my goodness. Is that one song that gets you, and then you're
But
just like, "Hmm." Yeah, I was
yeah,
a little
it's pretty
self-taught.
GG's when you like find the song that slaps.
Well, no, it's
But
kind of
yeah,
interesting because
what about you? You were saying like
yeah, I
classes.
technically started I was actually self-taught for the longest time, where I literally took like my mom's. No, actually, no. I started with a little point and shoot camera that I got for like my middle school graduation, and started taking photos of it. It was only until like I decided, oh, let me put these photos in a random English PowerPoint presentation, because like, all right, what else way for me to talk about the definition of this verb? I'm like, let me just throw this photo in that. And fortunately enough, that teacher was running the yearbook, and she encouraged me to join the yearbook as a photographer. And then I quote unquote say borrowed my mom's camera, to which I just basically took ownership of it. And basically was taking photos, learning on the fly. I was, again, kind of like what you said. I shot everything in JPEG because I thought, oh, everything is perfect the way I take it. Just that,
Because I
cocky.
shot it, this JPEG will be all the more dense with information.
Exactly.
And it's like, you are dense.
Well, ouch, but true. That is, oh, ouch. No, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. But it was only until, and even though like I did a couple of years, because it was kind of like that bit where I thought I was going to get into acting, singing, and all that stuff, but it was only until like my senior year that I started getting into media, and was like wanting to do video and photography in a way. And then I applied to Ithaca College, and then I got in for this program, documentary studies and productions. And it was only then where I started like getting classes of photography. So it was kind of interesting to like devolve it into that aspect.
That's cool. But like you clearly found your home in it. It like became like be it what so when you had like yearbook and stuff and you kind of had a thing given to you, been like, you're gonna be a part of this team, you're gonna shoot, you're gonna do that, this and that. When did you what was your first like doing it on your own shoot?
Um, well, so again, I didn't do shoots. I was just basically assigned different tasks, be like, all right, just get photos of the fencing club, get maybe some subject
I mean
of
post school. I mean
oh,
like disconnected from like a larger thing. Like the when you went to do a photography thing for you, be like, I'm a photographer, and I'm
oh,
gonna go and shoot this thing. Like not like,
um,
oh, you're like
okay,
doing
okay,
shoots
okay.
or whatever, but like
Like like the drive to get into photography, or is it just more like when
or just
I
like what was the first thing? Do you remember what your first like shoot outside of a like a first solo Eric being hired as a photographer or like going to shoot something?
hmm, yeah, because
I'm just
I
trying
was
to get you
given
to be
yeah, no,
nostalgic.
no.
Show all my cards.
Throwback Thursday right here. Honestly, yeah, I'm
True.
trying to think because again, a lot of it was like, all right, assignments, like for yearbook, then class assignments. There was like some times where either I was getting photos because I was part of a Quidditch team in college. Um, but then I guess maybe the first thing maybe was that I started collecting those Funko Pops, you know?
Okay.
And I do remember like I started collecting them, like, I want to take some photos of it. Like I put like Red Sun, Superman in the snow over here, or I did a photo, or actually, hold on. Actually, no, that was one of the photo. Yeah, this is one of those photos. Even though this was a class assignment, this was like something I did where it's like, I'm gonna set up like all these cards, have this Joker right here, and actually this was taken on, even though this was taken on medium format, it was, I guess it was kind of like something to express that
So
little
that's
aspect.
that's a photo.
Yeah,
Like it looks like a drawing to me.
it does. Hmm. No, it's a photo. It was literally in the corner of my apartment, like on set of a table, and then I
Oh,
just put a bunch of cards like stacked around with, because again, it was like I
oh
had this
wow.
Funko Pop.
It looks so good.
No, thank you. And it was also medium formats. It was I took advantage to be like, oh, I get to take this on film. Let me set this up or what have you. Um, but then I guess after college, that's when I'm like, all right, let me try to figure out like my photo career. To which then I was like thinking, oh, I'll offer, headshots, portraits for people. To which for the first like 6 year, I was getting some gigs, but then, hey, not many people. And again, they were like friends or people I knew, but then I didn't really get too much traction from that. And then it was only until like 2017 where I attended C2E2, a local convention here, and then and I was funny enough cosplaying a character who was have you ever played Dead Rising at all?
Dead Rising. That's the zombie game
Mm-hmm.
with
You,
oh, I can see the cover in my head.
yes,
But
but
yeah, is it like
basically,
the one where the guy's like holding his arm and he is like facing off against the other zombies, or is that a different one? Am I thinking of the wrong one? It doesn't really
uh,
matter.
the one that you might be thinking, well, it's the one where it's like a guy who has a TV and he's like a swarm of zombies. But basically, it was like basically the main character Frank West is basically a photojournalist during a zombie apocalypse. And actually, ironically enough, I cosplayed him, and even I made like the barbed wire bat, like just like a wiffle bat or whatever, and I just had like some fake things. And yet everyone thought I was
Yeah.
like Negan from Walking Dead. I'm like, no, I'm not Negan from Walking Dead. I have a camera in my hand.
No,
I'm
you
not
don't
in the same.
understand.
No, exactly. But as I said, I started taking photos and I edited them, shared them, to which then people like responded to me saying, "Oh, your photos are great. Do you offer photo shoots?" I'm like, "Wait, what? Is that a thing?" And and then I guess that kind of just started my cosplay journey, if you will. So I don't know. Sorry, that kind of got into like multiple stages, if you will.
No. That's great. That's super interesting. Because like I was gonna ask like specifically, how did you get into like cosplay? Did it start with the love of cosplay first, and then, or did it start as I'm shooting stuff and that's what was in front of me, and then it kind of, oh, this is cool? Because like I feel like I've seen and am familiar with a lot of cosplay only because of all the streamers on here. Because like so many are doing cosplay specifically because it's like gaming website. Typically, if you're a photographer and you're not just like doing your photography thing, it's like there's a lot of cosplay.
No, I see now. Now you mentioned like especially with the shout outs that you make, it's like you're right. I have noticed that there are a lot more cosplay photographers popping up more and more lately. So you're right about that. That's kind of interesting. But no, it was kind of like the ladder where I didn't think much of it. And again, I was like, I see these cosplays, I want to get some cool photos of it. And then, as I said, people asked if I was doing shoots, and then I think I literally was like, all right, who wants to do cosplay shoots? I'm new to this. Please help me build my portfolio. And then over time, I just built a reputation here in the Chicago area, and it just kind of grew, and just a lot of people enjoyed my work and respect me as a professional, and that's just how it kind of built there.
Nice.
So that's kind of worked. But then it's like, and honestly, like it is kind of interesting where cosplay has helped me, because again, it's like, because as I kind of mentioned earlier, where even though like I thought I was going to get repeated clients from like from headshots or portraits, but with like cosplay, because hey, I'm wearing a different outfit for this convention, I need a photographer, I would get a lot of repeating clients. So it was like, as I said, that little niche where I didn't think too much of it at the time, and it just became.
That's what I tell people all the time too. It's like people will be like, I'm starting out in photography, but like, how do I like get a job? Like, how do I get hired to like do a thing? And I'm like, you aren't just a photographer. Like, what do you know? You know, like it's like somebody being like, here's a popular YouTube channel. If I want to be a YouTuber, I have to do the popular YouTube channel thing. And it's like, well, you don't know how to cook. So even though you got inspired to make videos by watching Binging with Babish, it doesn't mean that needs to be like the thing that you do, right? Like,
whoops, that was me. That was me.
I like, dude, I'm an opera singer and a metal person. I consume a lot of metal music. So like between those two things, shoot what you know, try to find people that you know in those circles and stuff, right? Like, like this opera stuff. It's like, sweet, go in, shoot it. You know it because you understand it. I'm not specifically seeking out weddings because like, I know things better than weddings. Like I can do them. I just don't like particularly love them when I can focus more towards doing the stuff that I understand and doesn't take so much like mental energy to figure out if I'm like doing it right. So when somebody's like passionate about cars and they're like, oh, I want to be a photographer and I want to shoot car stuff, I'm like, talk to car people, take pictures of people's cars. Like,
go to those events or what have you.
Team anything but weddings. There you go.
Team. It's like again, it's kind of funny. Like some people have asked me, be like, I would like you to be my wedding photographer. Like, all right, but I recommend some other people first if you want to check them out. I mean, again, I'll still be happy to photograph. Do you want to
find somebody who isn't just going to look like they don't want to be there? I have some recommendations.
I mean, I'll still do the job, but I'm so.
Oh, me too. I know. I'm teasing.
Actually, yeah, but no. As I was saying, it is kind of interesting where like cosplay has been something that has pushed me to do other things. Where it's like I've had clients who I've worked with, and they hired me to photograph their wedding or expand into other medias that I never considered about, like whether it was engagement photos or even boudoir. And so it was kind of interesting where it's like, I guess cosplay was the gateway drug to other subject genres, if you will. So it's just kind of funny where it just helped me.
That, like, especially like with cosplay specifically, who was I talking to? I might have been talking to somebody else who was doing cosplay stuff, and I was like, you know that cosplay is essentially just couples photography, right? Like whenever you see like a Harley Quinn and a Joker together, you're not doing a cosplay shoot, you're doing a couples shoot. It's just a little bit crazy. It's like, so it's like, just because you shoot one thing, and like if you're curious about something else, just like put it in the framework of the thing that you understand. Shooting a concert is like has a lot of similarities to shooting a corporate cocktail event. You're trying to get the crowd, you're trying to shoot through stuff, you're getting the detail shots, you're getting the wides, somebody's at the microphone, or you just zoomed in on them, or are you getting the larger picture? Like whether you're shooting Cannibal Corpse or you're shooting a law firm cocktail, there's still a lot of crossover as to at least like your composition, the fact that light, low light, high key lighting, it's all the same. You still have to like be fast on the dials. You got to not miss moments,
No, exactly.
Shooting concerts is also similar to weddings. Steve does both. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's lots of crossover. It's just maybe weddings are less epilepsy inducing.
Depending.
A lot of the time.
Well, it's funny enough because I did start. Because that is one thing which I was talking with someone, because I did actually start in the mindset of photojournalist, and actually that was one thing that I was, especially for Yearbook, I was photographing a lot, was actually the theater productions, because well, one, I was in drama club, so that was like a connection there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna be here anyway, so I might as well photograph it. But again, how it was like, all right, got to make sure I keep the natural light, because obviously, the crew that set up the lighting, they have it for a distinct scene. So I can't use a flash for this. And then I got hired for other stuff. Like my sister was marketing for a dance company here in Chicago. And so I was helping out photographing either shows or the dance rehearsals, to which, it is kind of interesting to like, because I was shooting a lot of like shutter priority at that time, just because I know I need to have my aperture at that bit, even though I didn't really know too much about, the whole light triangle trinity, if you will, of aperture, shutter, and ISO.
Just shoot everything you can,
experiment,
and, like,
learn.
Don't shoot stuff that make you not want to shoot.
No, fair.
Like,
but also just never hurt to experiment and expand, because again, that's also me, where it's like I sometimes like a little challenge or just something that just builds the portfolio a little bit. So that's just me. But again, so you usually do a lot of events and performing arts, correct? Is there anything else that you do?
When I like doing storm photography, actually.
Storm photography.
When I'm out west, I'm usually back in spring and the fall during like storm seasons and stuff. So lots of lightning, not necessarily a ton of rain, because it's so like dry and staticky. So we'll get some like crazy lightning shows, and I got lucky with a couple of the shots, and it's like I never really think about it, but yeah, I love going out at like 2 a.m. It'll be like lightninging outside, and I'll be like, time to go to bed. But I'm like, no, I have to go outside, and I'll take the tripod and I'll go stand outside for like 2 hours, just 15 seconds at a time, just like taking 12-second exposures, just seeing what shows up in the shots, Try not to blow things out, and like it's a fun time for me to just sit with nature too, because it's just you're just waiting, and the lightning does the composition for you, so you just have to like hope and be patient, frame things up, and hope that lightning is gonna do something cool. It's like both incredibly frustrating and rewarding when the lightning strikes within a compositional like area of your photo. Man, it sucks when it's like a little bit off to the right and you're just like, okay, I'll just like hope it comes around. Or you like shift your tripod like this way and you just do the same thing for the next like 20 minutes, just hoping that lightning strikes twice.
Yeah. Well, here in Chicago, at least a lot of people try to like just get that lightning strike that hits the Sears Tower or something like that. So it's like, all right, we know that this is going to be hidden here. So we know that, but that's always been the casual. Honestly, again, I haven't done too much nature stuff in a while, and I should try to do that like more often. Whether it is just like, because I remember like one time, like I was with one of my classmates, Durst, at Ithaca. Like we just did a hike, and we were just kind of doing like a little photo hike. We are just taking photos or whatever, and he set up his like tripod in front of one of the Ithaca waterfall gorges, and basically, you know, he did like a slow shutter and was able to get the composition where, you know, the stream falling down was just so nice and good. And he was like, oh, let me put your card in there. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then I'm like, all right, is this technically my photo because it's my card or something like that? But I don't know, just that whole question. But I don't know, I need to try to do more of that stuff.
From the camera that shot it, because the camera's writing the metadata. So I guess technically it would be his. If he was gonna like take it to court over it.
Nah, I mean, that's nature stuff. And again, he has his photo, I have mine, and either we just edit it differently or whatever. But then it's the question: is it because he offered to put my SD card in there? Is that forgiving the? I don't know. So as I said, it's a technical thing, but it's also been over 10 years ago, so it's like there's not really much to worry about.
Yeah. It's like if you bring it up, it's mostly just for fun at this point.
Oh, exactly. So kind of like to that like question about genres and all that stuff. Is there any specific subject genre that you've never done but want to try to get into at all? That's a question you haven't thought too much.
In my old age, I know in the future I will probably get into astro. But I need so much more time on my hands than I have right now. Because like just watching it all happen, I'm like, oh, that's sick, that's cool, and like it's dope to like look into the night sky and like just like I took all of these, like I follow Cosmic Background on Instagram, like most people with a camera they do. He's fantastic, and I'm just like, be cool. It's inspiring, but I can't right now. I need to be lighter on my feet than have it. And the thing is that I don't want to do things like halfway, right? So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do astro, I can't just like have a tripod. That's not doing astro. You gotta get the telescope that's like tracking the stars and stuff, like a star tracking like turning telescope thing. Like go big or go home, baby. That's like the reason I don't have any tattoos is because like I know that if I get a tattoo, it's just one tattoo over my entire body. It's like,
oh god,
there's no like middle ground. It's not like, oh, I got a bird on my knuckle and it represents happiness. You know.
Actually, no, that's kind of funny. I've always wondered about getting a tattoo or not. And I've always had this one idea of like either sort of like 3 arrows along here. One being like just basically 3 arrows. One representing my sign, which is Sagittarius. Another, which is Ithaca, which is the college I went to, but it's also like Odysseus's home, to which he was like a great archer. And then the third is that
it is cooler when you link it to Odysseus than the school you went to.
That's true.
But maybe that's just me.
A connection, if you will. And then the other, which I guess this might be a little cooler, is that my family name does have like a coat of arms, and it does include an arrow as well. And then I'm also sick. Like, and then it's just like I kind of thought like, all right, I'll keep it on my right arm, like, you know, because like any sort of like natural like photographer, it's like my right hand is like my camera hand, but then, you know, like if I were to actually do photography, it's like, all right, my arrows are right here or something. I don't know. It's been a concept that has been sitting in my head.
It's
and
like
I know
picking up like an Arca Swiss thing and being like the lens goes that way. You know, it's like.
Well, it's just that bit where it's like it's,
actually that'd be a fun tattoo idea. The freaking I've got these these spider hook things, and on the bottom it has like a little arrow that says like lens on it, and just get like a little like tattoo on your wrist that goes lens that way.
I'll say that would be funny. Haley said, "Why did I hear you wanted tattoo sandwiches?"
Tattoo sandwiches?
I don't know. I mean, I do like a breakfast sandwich. I would honestly get that.
Tattooed maple would be too powerful. If you were so that's where you would get a tattoo. You'd probably get a forearm tattoo.
Maybe forearm, or at least maybe either a bicep. Maybe just to have it like, you know, I could still like have it under a sleeve or something like that. As I said, it's that bit where it's like I've always heard like either you think about it for a year, then you get the tattoo. But I've been thinking about it for 10 years. So what's that?
Yeah, that's it.
What sandwich? I told you.
And it was like,
I said
there was a thing I saw the other day that was like, this guy would be like, "Oh, so you got a bunch of tattoos? Haven't you thought about how you'll look like when you're old?" And it's like,
oh yeah.
Well, the thing is that you can't control getting older, but you can control looking cool. And if you if you have a tattoo that you like and it makes you feel and look cool, you'll just be cool forever.
No, fair.
You know?
I also just have a mother who works in medical, and she also just throws it and be like, it's going to be painful if you need the tattoo removed, because I've had to deal with people with that process. I don't know. So it's just kind of funny. It's the same bit where she doesn't want me
to take the whole arm off.
I know. That's also the reason why she doesn't want me to write
when they have to cut your arm off to take the tattoo off.
Well, that's the other reason why she doesn't want me to get a motorcycle license as well, because she's seen too many neck and spinal injuries in the ER. So it's like, oh yeah. Actually, you know, funny enough,
a few hours to think about it. That is intense. I'd be like, I could never, out of like pure spite, I'd be like, you can't tell me what to do. I am too stubborn. I'm happy. I mean, I love like being excited and such goofy goober, but it's like, I will not do something that I don't really feel like because I'm so stubborn.
Actually, as I'm kind of snacking a little bit right now, because I usually have a late dinner, because usually if I'm busy photo editing or streaming, and my girlfriend's always cooking dinner, and it's always like past 8 o'clock. But is there any particular snack that you like to have while you sort of photo edit or stream? For me, it's popcorn usually, because it's like simple, not too crazy.
Snacks, less so. Also, wait a second. Are you like working on stuff? Because your screen on Discord has not changed for me in like a very long time.
What does it show?
It's just been showing like the library of the Baldur's Gate people,
no.
but that has not moved this entire stream.
Hold on. I think I know why. Because I need to change the window.
So if you want to see what Eric was working on, you got to look at his stream.
Sorry. Okay.
Cool little pixelated cubes.
Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Be a team player.
Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
This freaking guy.
Sorry. It's like I clicked it because like, okay, this is what. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're muting me? Oh no.
Oh no. I do not. I have 3 monitors dedicated to streaming and doing this at the same time, and I still don't have enough monitors to like actually do what I need to.
I just have one for the stream,
have, like,
one for the photo editing
behind OBS. Yeah, it's like
no. So what? But then I got my questions on the left side over here, so I'm like, all right, making note. Be like, all right. I answered that question. Here's that question. So, anyways, back to my question.
I didn't want to be that guy who's like, so you're gonna get anything done?
I'm almost done with this photo. Honestly, I'm getting there. If it was a Lightroom photo, maybe, because I think when I was editing with Haley and it was Lightroom, so I'm like, all right, I'm not worried too much, but I also know that my Photoshop work takes me longer than that. So I apologize for those on Mapleglades stream that I've selected the wrong
Just staring
capture
at
window. I apologize.
It's all good.
Hopefully we resume your regular photo editing content. But anyway, so if you were
Fine.
so your snack question.
Oh yeah, I have a really tough time like I don't really snack. I eat like a full meal every time I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Like which is usually a rice and egg and tofu and cheese wrap with lettuce and tomato. And did I say cheese already? There's cheese on there.
Yes.
And just
nothing wrong with cheese. Nothing wrong with
usually
cheese.
some like last dab on there too. But it is such a dude meal, but I have been eating it for 6 years straight for almost every meal. I have kept the tortilla business in business. I have kept big tortilla in business single-handedly since I started moving to like having that. But it was just always something where I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go fry that up. It takes me like 12, 13 minutes. And I'm like sitting back at the desk with no plate. Like, and I have a full meal, you know?
No, my girlfriend kind of has that.
I don't
where she would like have a tortilla, she maybe cook an egg, throw some hot sauce or something like that, and it's simple enough. But she also works from home a lot, so that's the other factor. I have to like go to work, and so I'm just grabbing a yogurt and what have you for breakfast. But I don't know. For me, it's just usually just like popcorn, just nice, simple, not too much stuff on the hands. And I guess as we're talking about photo editing. Oh, you got a question for me?
All right, I have a quick question. Have you had Discord like go offline? Like if you're like on a different program, it like literally showed on my screen, do you want to watch this stream in Discord? So we're gonna have to maybe figure another way to
something popped up for me. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Hold on, let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, it's acting a little weird on my end. It popped a different
when you
one.
stop sharing your screen, it doesn't like throw you into a different part of the window. It still works.
Okay, that's good. Well, because I think
I want it to like stay open.
Now I'm like, all right, can I try a screen share? Now it's got a loading buffer going on. Technology.
Just to turn it off and back on again. It worked. It worked for me before.
Well, no, that's why. Well, no, it's still buffering. So it's like I turned it. Okay. Well, so like as I said, it's a screen share. So now the screen share is like buffering like crazy. Oh my goodness.
Oop. Got to keep that window open, otherwise it does not work. Or Discord. There you are.
Hey, Hinky. Can you fix my screen?
I'll just keep an eye on it. It's fine. I'll just like refresh it.
Hey, buddy.
We're working through the kinks.
So yeah, as I was mentioning about earlier.
Also, chat, if you have any questions for me or Eric, like, or want us to riff off of stuff.
No, please do. Please do. That's the point of this as I Hinky.
Hero.
My cat finally decided to come over here. Hi, Hinky.
Oh, cute.
Oh, Hinky. No, don't you dare. No. Oh my God. He's chewing on the cord. Hank, I can smell your wet food breath.
Oh crap, that doesn't work. Okay.
It doesn't work?
Oh no, I had the guest split screen, but because you aren't sharing your screen, it's not cropped properly.
No, yeah, because as I said, it's like I can't get.
This is clearly a perfect system.
The stream together system?
Yeah, like what we're doing here. It's like it's It's not bad. It's fine. Whatever.
Maybe
Anyway,
I might.
U.S. snacks. I think if I had to snack, yeah, I think I've in the past had popcorn more than other things. Also,
Mhm.
Kirkland makes some banging popcorn. Like go to Costco, get like the big 50 pack or whatever. So good.
Yeah. I've never actually no. We do have a Costco membership, and so it's like, yeah, we have not tried Kirkland. We usually go with Skinny Pop, which that is what I'm having tonight. But not just any Skinny Pop. It's like
Skinny
a
Pop's
butter.
good. I like
It's
to
a
pop
butter
my own
beer.
popcorn though.
No, we got like a bunch of popcorn kernels. I've been trying so many recipes, but this Skinny Pop is like a Harry Potter butter beer Skinny Pop. It's just basically like a light caramel corn. So it's not too crazy, but I don't mind it.
I always honestly, if like I've never had butterbeer myself, but I would imagine that butterbeer is the worst beer, and if something is going to be butterbeer flavored, it should be like popcorn or like something that you would put butter on. Because like the idea of like it's so warm and cozy. I took a stick of butter and I stuck it in hot
A
like a
root beer
thing.
or
Also,
something like that.
Hi Hex. Yeah, I like. Wait,
Well,
did that show up? Chat. Oh yeah,
No, I
did.
see it.
Okay, I just didn't see your message, Hex. Hi Hex.
Yeah, I've had butterbeer, and it is kind of just like
Can you share
a
your screen again? Is
caramel.
it working?
It's still acting weird. So what I might do just for a quick second is end the call, maybe quickly call back and see if that might work. If that's all right. Because I know sometimes Discord can be a little weird. All right, sorry, but I'll still
it'll
see
be
you on
fine.
screen.
Yeah. Hey, leave the call. Come back.
All right, copy that. All right, give me a quick. Wait. All right, there we go. Actually,
We're waiting for Eric.
Well, as I said, it's weird where it showed like a share screen section, like when I exited the call, but now it's like I might have to just close out Discord and restart it. Maybe Discord sometimes can be weird on me.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Give me a second here.
Fine.
Lo siento,
That's fine.
lo siento.
I'll use this opportunity to
talk to your chat, maybe.
My chatting screen here.
No,
Okay,
that's
see you
fair.
in a
So,
minute.
see ya. Thank you so much, Hex, for the follow. For that, I will give you this photo because we like to build this photo wall behind me. And your photo is this JoJo Bizarre Adventure photo right here. So, as I currently take a quick second moment to just be like, what is going on with you, Discord? The only other thing is like, do I have to restart Discord or something like that? Or actually, let me go to Task Manager and let me might need to close out this. Catch up time for everyone to do on the stream. So I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for the tech issues, if you will. Because God knows that happens a lot. Push my. All right. Little aperitif or break.
Just chatting. There we go. Perfect.
All right.
I have a wedding I'm shooting on Saturday.
Here we go.
too.
Here we go.
Okay, very cool.
All right, here we go.
Are you
Here we
back?
go. All right.
Are you back?
All right, let's see. There we go. All right, can you see it?
Da-da-da-da-da.
You see it?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. You gotta turn your camera on though.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da. There we go.
Okay.
I've got all my different scenes here, just like here we go. Okay, we're back. We're back.
We're back.
Cool.
Yeah, when in doubt, just turn it on and off. That's what it is. All right, there you go. There you go.
It's just like, did you try turning it off and on again?
It's fine enough. I've never seen that show, but yet I know that joke well from it.
It's good. It's a good watch. Yeah, IT Crowd is fun. It's funny because every once in a while I'll turn my parents on to a new show or something like that, and I'll be like, yeah, like I heard this was good, or we watch like 3 episodes together, and they're like, oh, this is pretty good, and then I'll come back like to work like a few months later, and they're like on like season 4 of the IT Crowd, and I'm like, okay, you guys are like, they're making references to things that I have not seen because I just. I don't have a lot of time to like sit around and watch TV shows, so I'm pretty selective these days. So, you know.
Yeah. My folks are just like, I don't know, they funny enough, they have like a schedule between each other where it's like, all right, on Tuesdays we watch mystery drama, on Wednesdays we watch reality or something like that. So it's kind of just funny where they just do have a little bit of that mixture and just how they just watch all their stuff, and sometimes they might like ask me, oh, have you seen this and that? I'm like, I don't have much time, so I know it's kind of disappointing about that. So anyways, actually that kind of follows up to one of the questions I think I was about to ask is, when you're photo editing, if it's not on stream, what do you usually like to listen to or watch while you're photo editing?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a big YouTube boy, so I usually throw stuff on the side monitor, like when I'm working, like for sure. Usually just like fun and semi wacky stuff, like I'll watch like Papa Meat, like Meat Canyon videos, like because they're pretty regular with their schedule, and also it's fun because it's kind of like they have a lot of like macabre subjects, and they'll like cover like the craziest nurses who haunted the asylums of the 1800s or something like that, and they have all these like just stories where they're like been into their creepcast. Yeah, creepcast is freaking awesome. Yeah, with Hunter and Wendigoon and
Wendigo.
New Reacher and Invincible. Oh, is Invincible back? Oh, that's cool. I finished the halfway through the season where they left it off, and I was pissed because I was like, there's like, yeah, Meat Canyon or Papa Meat. Papa Meat is the reaction channel, which I actually like. It needs its own shout out because like Meat Canyon is his animation, and Wild, I must have silence while I edit and also when I shoot.
Huh, when you shoot.
That's if I watch somebody just in dead silence staring at a screen for hours, I would back away slowly out of the room and into the hedge where Homer Simpson is. I would just be like, I don't know what's going on upstairs mentally. I'm not going to ask.
I mean,
I feel like I just need to let you do your thing. You know,
I mean, part of me does understand. Part of me does understand, especially for like portrait shoots or especially cosplay, where you do need to really focus on your lighting. There is that bit where it's like, I at least notice myself, like I'm always like, there's just so many things for me to calculate, especially for posing, especially for lighting, and then of course I got to think of the camera. So there's just all this calculation in my mind, and I guess it is that bit where. You know,
if I'm shooting, yeah, I'm not like listening to a YouTube video. Like, I'm saying like if I'm editing something, I'm not like I need dead silence to know if I like need more contrast or not. It's not like turning down the radio so I can like follow the city signs better.
Yeah,
when I, like, get to a new city.
At least for cosplay photography, it's like sometimes like if I was. It depends on the format. It's like, all right, if it's just an anime, either, even though if I might have watched the anime already just to research the shoot, maybe I might listen to the soundtrack, just getting the vibes or the moods, or just something along that line, just to give me the ideas of the tone or something like that. But
okay, your freaking video, man, that your reel that you posted where it was like editing photos while watching anime, like with dub with subs.
Yeah.
And it's just like that was so good. It was such a good video. I was like, it's so funny because like I want to be able to like watch an anime, but I also cannot do dubs. So it's
You
like
can't do dubs? You can't do dubs at all? That's what's helped me a lot.
I mean,
It's just like
not unless it's like it's really freaking good. But it's like I mean, I enjoyed Attack on Titan all the way through, you know what I mean? You know,
yeah.
like it's some of them are a tough sell.
No, fair. Well, I mean, for me at least, because again, how as a cosplay photographer, it's like I need to try to research whatever I can as much as possible, and my default is to go to the dubs, so that either one, I could just research whatever I can, just get an idea of the fandom. But then, like, if I were to catch up to the fandom, like say for example, I'm on the current season of like My Hero Academia or Attack on Titan or what have you, then it's like, all right, then I'll switch to dubs and then, you know, catch up to a certain degree to which, all right, and then I just sit down and watch it. But if the dub is available and I'm like, just get all this information in my head right now. I got One Piece right that I'm going through, and God knows I'm like, I need the dubs right here because that's just my background noise right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Haley is like, I have given up on subs.
I think for just like how little anime I actually watch, I think I try to give it the focus, you know.
I can't.
Like I finally watched Death Note and loved it.
Oh,
it was so
nice.
Good.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like I couldn't watch that show with dubs. Yeah, it just like it would drive me nuts. Hi Suki, how you doing?
It is. Yeah, it is a very logical one.
Hang on. Nope. Never mind.
Oh, I see.
No, this is Eric Jaw's photo. He's great. He's another photo streamer. He does this thing called Snap and Chat. They had their first little chat interviewee type co-streaming session thing. And
you're the second.
Yeah, he asked like weeks ago if I wanted to come on and do this, and I was like, that sounds fun. Suki is another photographer. At this point, OG photo fam. Actually, I feel like I can start to say that now. There's like generations of people giving it like 2 years. So yeah, I was there at the beginning. Also, Infinity Spiral, 2-year credit. I do understand the difference between like playing a boombox in the background and like something else. I think I was just
Blue Eye Samurai,
off of something absurd. So
no,
like
fair.
Please don't take it as I actually think you're a psycho for like sitting there in a dead silent room and it's like there's like something like clinks in your kitchen and you're just like
No, it is kind of funny where you're saying like, okay, OG fam and such.
They're editing like this, just like
oh my. Oh, like
you become the OG non-photo member of the photo fam. Absolutely, Steven is the most non-photo fam.
But no, it's kind of funny where it's
but
like
we connect on other things, so it's fun.
It's kind of funny with like cosplay where you do see sort of like waves of people join the cosplay community where like there's a lot of people I know that joined cosplay like right around like 2017, 18. Then suddenly like in 2021, then you had like that COVID crowd boom, if you will, like those people who were like just stuck in COVID, but they wanted to get into cosplay. And then suddenly like when things opened up, then they kind of jumped in right on there. So it is just kind of crazy like that. So
yeah. Hey Scar, how you doing? Thanks for following Eric.
Thank you so much. In fact, this is your photo right here.
It's actually like kind of great that you have a Stream Elements bot for that, because then I can actually see like when people follow you, and like it'll also show that there's a decent amount of people that don't know you, and that's like weird to me. Because but also like I'm on Twitch constantly. Like as soon as somebody that I've followed goes live, it's like I have to go say hi. So it's like I feel like I'm super familiar with everybody, and then they're like, oh, who's this person? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? How do you not know Eric, how do you not know Suki? How do you not know Hex? How do you not know Steven? The number one photographer in the world.
Well, and that was actually going to be one of my questions I was going to ask, because you are so prominent in promoting so much. Because again, you have at least 666 plus Discord members. I had to go with the 666.
666.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I'm like, yeah. that ironically enough, that was my high school mascot was the Red Devils. So let's go.
Well, there you go.
Exactly. But especially like how I always notice that you are always just constantly like just promoting so many streams on your photo streams tab. And it's not only just like sending the links, but sending the screenshots, to which, usually whenever I see people post like, Discord stuff, it's either, all right, I'm just going to have a bot that's just going to post whenever you go live. Or, people just usually do that whole I'm streaming and they just spam on Discords. Guilty of that. But just how you were able to like,
which
just take that.
Is fine. It's sorry. Finish.
Well, no. So yeah. No, I know. Well, no, what you said was fine, which, it is. We do our best to like reach our audiences and whatever and all that stuff. But just how for you definitely take the time to not only just share it, but do the screenshots and just how, and I got some question for whether it is for your community and such. How do you just seem to keep that energy going? Is it just that you see a notification of some people that you follow that you just, we're like, all right, they're live, let's go promote them? Because, and especially I know for whenever I share mine, you just like, hey Eric, switch to photo mode so I could share what you're posting or editing.
Yeah.
What's your process on that?
So basically, I started, like, when I started shouting people out, the photo fam like didn't exist yet, because I think it was like from the beginning, which is like, how do I keep the energy? It's not like I ever try to keep the energy because I'm always just excited about it. It's just something that excites me. So it's like kind of asking like, how do you stay excited for this new TV show that you like? Tell us your process. It's like, it is just inherently interesting for me to like find people. And yeah, I'm like terminally online because I have my notifications on. And it's like, but also, I wanted to like shout people out and connect the community, because when I first learned about the photo thing, I talked about this just the other day on stream. Well, so I'll give you the Spark Notes version. But TLD Academy,
please do.
Aaron was doing the raw challenges and stuff back in the day when he was really kind of fostering that photo community. And then so over the last like probably year or so, he's just kind of like taking more time to like focus on what he wants to do in his own stream, which is freaking awesome. And kind of the raw challenge photography community stuff took a little bit of a side seat, because also he got a real job like that. Like nobody is just expected to have all this time just available. Like he has a freaking family and stuff. So I was trying to show people out in his Discord, and then it was like, well, where else do I put them if like he's not live as often, or like, we're not doing raw challenge anymore or whatever. So I was like, I just wanted to make a Discord that I would want to go to easily and find people. So then I was like, okay, well, when you shout out a link, it just shows a photo, which is like no context. I can find 100 people in a day and shout them all out and be like, this person's doing photo stuff. And it's like, great, I believe you. It's just a big like trust me bro thing, and it's just a whole bunch of links. And I'm like, I can go through the Discord like now and be able to go back in time and find out what day so and so was working on a particular shot. Like I'll associate what somebody's shooting and like what style they shoot like with their name. So it's like not just the name, but like also what they're working on and the consistency of it. So I can search their name, look at all the posts where they're shouted out, and then be able to look and be like, what have you been working on over the last like 3 months? Which like familiarizes me with like what they do in general. So I'm like, oh, you want a car photographer? You should go follow No Excuses. And it's like, oh, you should go follow Connolly. You should go follow so and so. Oh, I found a new French streamer. You should go follow this person. Like, it's like, I don't think that there's like at least like, since the community is so small, it's different than being like, I also play Minecraft. Follow my channel. It's like, you can kind of come in and be like, hey, there are so few photographers. I'm going to just say this person is doing this, which is similar to you. Y'all should talk. And it's like, in my experience over the last few years, it has been more well received than not, which is cool. There are definitely some people that are like a little bit like hesitant or don't know really what's happening, and I know that I can personally come on like really strong when I'm like, hey, by the way, like, and it's mostly just because I'm trying to bring the information as fast as possible to people, and it can seem like a lot, but it's also low key what I wanted when I started. Like, if somebody came through to my chat and was like, hey, there's literally a hub for what you're doing and everyone's really cool, and there's a bunch of like tips and stuff, and also like this and that, I'd be like, oh, sick. And like, mind you, 8 times out of 10 people are usually like responding like that. So maybe I've gotten too comfortable and just being really like, just like, hey, what's up? Like, you're not the only one, but like, also sometimes I'll go on like my hunts or whatever and find like 4 people, and I also have to like live my life at the same time. So I'll spend like 5 or 10 minutes, give people the rundown, invite them, depending on if they're like open to it. I'll like invite them to the Discord or send them a whisper, be like, no pressure, you don't need to. I get it. I'm a stranger danger, but like, I will be back. And then basically it's following up. I think that anybody can go to a stream and talk about a community or try to get them to get involved with something that you have going on or whatever, but it takes more effort to show up every time they're doing it and being like, hey, I'm back, what are you working on? Like, I find that just showing up and like, because I'm genuinely curious, like, don't do it because you're supposed to, like, do it because you're curious, and I am curious as to what people are working on. So it's like, I try to prioritize showing up because I don't know, it's like a weird like obsessive thing in like a not like unhinged way, where it's just like, I just like to poke in and see what's going on. There are only so many photo streamers, so it's not like, if I was trying to make a Minecraft Discord or something like that and was trying to find every Minecrafter and then shout them out and then go and hang out in their streams for 5 to 10 minutes or periodically throughout the day, I'd lose my dang mind. There's too many. Whereas like photography, I've struck a nice balance with like, I feel like I can actually get to know these people that I find easier than maybe I could with something that was a little bit bigger, which I guess like is just part of the, well, I guess like one of the benefits of it not being this like massive category thing. Like, photography, videography on YouTube is freaking huge. Like, the cinematography scene and stuff and all that, like, everybody wants to be a vlogger.
Oh yeah.
But then you go to Twitch and it's like, oh, well, there's nothing here.
No, exactly.
And like, low key, that's also like kind of fun, because I've since joining Twitch, sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent.
No, go right
knew
ahead.
what you were getting into.
No, I did, and that's why I'm like, I'm just letting you talk. Just go right ahead.
I don't think I've looked up just like, because I used to do like the valuetainment thing, or I would throw up on the side monitor a tutorial on how to get more punchiness in your event photos or something. And then there's somebody be like, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about wedding photos. And I like to just like add a little glow here. And I'm like, okay, I can only watch so many of those now. And it's like,
Yeah.
since getting on Twitch and being able to interact directly with the people who shot it, it just, every other tutorial slash vlog slash lifestyle video revolving around photography, they've lost a certain amount of interest from me, because I'm just like, well, I can't interact with this. I guess, like, unless I'm really into like the subject or whatever you're like posting about. Like, there are definitely still channels that I watch like that, but I don't just go willy-nilly photo tutorial, how to edit with contrast, and then just throw on the most popular video. Like, I don't do that anymore, and I think I did when I first learned what shooting in RAW was. But now I just spend all my time on Twitch because, like, I'm talking with photographers doing real things. Like, if I have a question, I'll just ask them. And that's so much faster than trying to go down a 14-hour YouTube rabbit hole to try and figure out what the best way to like do this very specific thing is. You know?
No, I do agree. Where there are sometimes people are asking like, oh, like, what are you doing with this lasso tool? And then, you know, I kind of explain a little bit as well on that aspect there. But you are right where it is kind of just how quick and instant it can be. Just where there, it's like, and it is kind of funny enough where, yes, you're talking about YouTube, where it's like I used to have my own personal YouTube and I used to post like video game music videos, some of my like college works, if you will, and then suddenly it's only recently where like that YouTube account was just mixed with like, all right, my personal stuff and then photography stuff and then Twitch stuff, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna have my own YouTube account that's just dedicated for photo stuff. And then I switched, I've been making the transition there. But then I guess you're kind of right where it's like, all right, there are a couple of videos like either I saved just if it might be some good tech stuff that'll be good later. But you are kind of right where kind of be like, all right, here's my vlog. And, you know, each to their own, like everyone has their way to like make videos and present them. And no doubt it's like, you know, whatever content you can make it. But you are right where it is that same day where it's like, I see a video of someone's like talking, like, this is how I did my lighting for this fashion shoots. Sorry, my husband had to take care of the basement or work downstairs in the basement, so I had to change my photo studio upstairs. And so this is what I did with the talent and all that stuff. So I don't know, it is kind of like that a little bit where it's like it does become a little vlog. And as I said, everything is content, but you don't have that like sort of genuine. And it's
fine too.
Connection.
This isn't like coming down on vloggy YouTube. Kind of like putting your own like personal spin in there, because like not everything has to be this sterile tutorial either. Like, it's just personally for me, I get the most amount of entertainment and such from interacting with real people as opposed to like trying to make friends in the comment section of a YouTube video like a psychopath. And it's like they're just I just like would rather, you know, like this kind of thing. You can't do this just by like looking up YouTube videos. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and and again, like I like how niche some of these areas of Twitch are, because there are people that are massive on other platforms. And then they come to Twitch for whatever reason, because like whether, you know, Twitch is a little bit lighter on like music copyright or this and that.
Yeah, they are.
And they'll be like streaming stuff and doing their thing. And I'm like, dude, you have like 250,000 subscribers and you do this and that. Like, what are you doing here streaming to like me and your friend? Like, you know, and it's like, not that I would ever come to the like, we're actually friends. You know, you don't know the people online. Like,
the parasocial relations. Yeah,
like everyone's got their I'm streaming mask on, right? Like, you don't know them until you've literally just spend time with them. Also, sorry, Suki, everybody who's on my side and is like, it's a really quiet stream today. Where are all the sound effects? I muted them because some of them are just like, they get a little crazy, especially when we're like trying to focus. And so for the sake of everybody involved, we're just having a bit of a chiller time tonight.
No, I understand.
Fine, though, I heard it in my head though. You could still type it. like Impoverished will come in and type Spider-Man, and everybody knows
What to expect.
me and people are friends. That what we've talked about other stuff, and we like DM on IG and stuff. It's different. Yes, Steven, we're friends.
Well, no, that's true, because that is something, and especially God knows
You're
it
not
is
a
stuff
friend.
well, no, that is prevalent in
Colin.
like, especially in the cosplay community, where people do have that sort of parasocial relations that they kind of establish. And it was funny enough, that was like something I learned in my college classes for like media studies about, like, you know, people attach themselves to
Parasocial
like
101.
exactly. So it's something where it's like, I feel like needs to be talked about a little bit more and more. And it is that bit where it's like, you know, oh, this person likes so and so, I think we be best buds, but it's like, is the person aware of you at all? And, you know, on that area, I could see where it's like, yeah, that person is just, all right, look, as another viewer on a past format of a video they made. While here it's like at least in-person interaction. Then of course you got the Discord to chat around with into that degree. So it does add that little extra element of connection, I suppose, in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I was just like looking at it, I was like, Kala, we're fine. I spent hours with you offline hanging out and chatting. We're good. I need to like go through my list and be like, how much time have I spent on people's Discord calls and talking not online stream? I'm let's just say like we're very good friends and acquaintances, but when I say I love you guys, I mean like we're not getting married. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what is genuine, where it's like, all right, if they are understanding of like, you know, life is busy, life is crazy, just as you said, where, you know, hey, I only have so much time to devote for energy into this and that. As long as, you know, someone's understanding of that, that is fine. You know, you'll chat when you chat. That's just what it is. And unfortunately, some people think that, hey, we're besties already, right? I was like, I just only talk with you online. Come on, give me a second. So it is kind of like that bit of like understanding that sort of aspects, I suppose. I don't know. I guess, as I said, my aspects with cosplay photography and that whole scene, it is kind of like different versus why you might have differently in the Twitch community, if you will. So
yeah. But so far so good. haven't had any big dramatic anything in the photo creative community that I'm aware of.
No,
so I would count that as a win.
You're lucky on that. You're lucky on that, I will say. So, speaking of which, is there any funny stories of any members on your Discord or Twitch followers that you would like to tell a story of as we're talking about this?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just like, whenever I think about the Discord, I'm like, I'm just glad everybody's cool. And maybe I just like am happy because everybody's chill, so it hasn't forced me to actually learn how Discord works. Because like it's like me and then Chris is the mod, and we've got all these people, and it's like if this were any other kind of community, I feel like there would be so much more need for like moderation and warning this and corralling people to like stop being crazy because they're chronically online and stuff like that. Like I can just kind of be like, yeah, everybody's chill. And it's been like years and everyone's just still chill. And I'm like, great, freaking awesome. I don't actually have to like do anything.
No. Yeah, there was like
I
a
just
little
kind
bit
of like
where
pop on, shout people out, and it's like, yeah, we haven't had any issues, which is awesome. So that just everybody gets a gold sticker.
Yeah, because there are some accounts or people that join Discords. There was like one Twitch streamer that I know that had like someone on their Discord, but they were like promoting themselves as, oh, I'm this music artist, but I'm also this and that. And there was only that bit where I'm like, well, no, you're not. You're hiding behind a false persona or something like that. And people were able to call that out easily. But then either way, just like other accounts that are just like, all right, they're using their self-promotions malcontent, if you will. So it is kind of interesting that, well, it's great that you have found a good community of like people that are chill, not too crazy on that, but it is kind of interesting of what the community that one is able to make, if you will, and be able to find like the right kind of people to bring into the group.
Yeah, and it's like uh, it's I don't know. I think it maybe it's helped. Like I like dude, like I have like I'm my own like acquired taste of energy, right? Like
Hmm.
I might be a little uh intense for some
Mhm.
people's like personalities and stuff, which is like fine because it's like I think at the end of the day that like I know that I mean well. So if somebody has like an issue with me or something like that, they could just like tell me or something and we'll like talk about it. I'll be like, "Oh, friggin' whoops, I didn't mean to come on so intense there or whatever." But it's
Mhm.
like I think just if you're normal and you are respecting people and their time and their energy and this and that and just like not making them feel like they're pressured to like do anything more than just be accepted.
Mhm.
If you're like, hey, you can come to this thing, but also like I want you to also start like basically put you to work,
Hmm.
you know? Like
Yeah.
I I get a really big I have kind of a problem with that just vibe wise because it's like well, I invited you to my house, our house, cue the socialism meme, but it's like we've got our thing going here, but like just because I invited you or somebody invited you to be a part of this doesn't mean you suddenly have to like pick up the hammer and get to work. You know, it's like I go and shout people out because I care. That I
Mhm.
want them to hopefully I want people to go see them. And I think that people will more often go to that person if I shout them out because hopefully they respect me enough to like trust my judgment in like somebody I'm shouting out.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Maybe people just like blindly click links or whatever, but if I'm like, "Hey, this person's doing this and they're really cool." I'd like to think that somebody who's clicking on that isn't just like, "Here's another photo streamer, I have to click this." They're more like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I'd maybe that's I don't I that felt self-aggrandizing there for a second, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a responsibility to like be willing to do the work yourself alone
Mhm.
and people that are passionate about what you're doing. This is a more of a better way to say it. People that are passionate about it and the community
Mhm.
will contribute as they want to, as they can. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's an online thing. We're all super connected, but we all have lives outside of this. So for
Yeah.
me to be like, everybody needs to like start pulling your way. You've been in the photo fan for 2 years. You need to like do this and that. I'd be like, no, that's crazy. Like if Shutter or Rumpel or Suki or any one of these people are like, yeah, I don't want to post, I don't want to contribute, I don't want to do this and that. That's fine. I don't care. Like
Mhm.
I'm gonna do it anyways. Like I think it's fun when people are sharing their personal YouTube videos that they love, and it isn't
Mhm.
just me being like, here's another thing on lighting. You know, like I like
Yeah.
being exposed to stuff that people like who might have a different algorithm than me,
Mm.
you know? So
I'm a bit more of the
if you don't
introverted
want it to be the
side.
Maple show, you gotta just contribute something, I guess.
No,
But I
fair.
mean, I'm happy to make it the Maple show because it's what I know, you know? Everybody just do what they know.
Yeah, I've just been taught, at least from my family, it was like, all right, like, no doubt, great to talk about yourself, but don't brag too much. You know, it's like I've been taught like from a very Midwestern standpoint of like, some courtesy, like think about others more than you kind of aspect, but also just I guess I'm a bit of an ambivert where it's like I have my energy to be like social and things like that, but I'm usually like reclusive in a certain degree. And so it's like there are those times where I have the energy like, all right, let me try to be a little social, but then there's just so many aspects where I'm like, I'm just gonna watch and just be a wallflower. Don't mind me. And it is what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I get like
and
that too. Even like
I become a turtle. I've been a little turtle lately. So no, it again, and it is such a mental energy, especially just with one's own life, but then also have another aspect, I suppose, like in streaming and all that stuff. And again, just life itself kind of got crazy. In fact, even today, as I said, I was like, all right, I had to wake up early. I'm taking tasks for work today. And then I got some this and that. And I was like, oh, so I'm just like, do I reschedule today's stream? I was like, nope, I made a promise. I don't want to reschedule. Let's do this. And here we are today. So
oh yeah.
So
no, I'm super glad.
So what is like, I guess one question, because you were talking a little about some photography stuff that you did. Have you gotten to do any like photography groups, or what's kind of like the photography scene like in like Montreal or Canada at all? Because I know like here in Chicago, there's like different collabs, different groups that you could join and do. And have you ever attended to anything like that? I don't know. I'm just curious. What is the vibes of?
No,
sort of like,
not so much. I mean, like when I like I said, like I got into photography and stuff when I was at the opera company. So, um, when I was there, we like friends of mine now, were hired back in the day to do photos for concerts, events, this and that. And because I had just bought my first camera, I was like, hey, like, what are you shooting with or something like that, and I'd like ask questions and stuff. And I remember a friend of mine, Kevin, he he was shooting a performance of Turn of the Screw by Benjamin Britten, which is what the Bly Manor show is kind of based on. And so anyways, he was there and I was like asking him questions. He was like, "You're serious about this, aren't you?" Like at first when I first talked about it, it was like, "Oh yeah, like blah 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 blah." It was kind of like nice, but then I was like really like asking him questions about stuff and he was like, "You're really like into this." And with that it was kind of like, yeah, like I'm in it to win it. So my photographer friends were people that like had gigs working at the opera, at classical events, and they were always the people I would like run into. And then like one of the greatest, I think, like wedding and event and couple portrait photographer here in Montreal for me, like I was the one that told him to buy an R5 because he was shooting 5D Mark IVs, and I got the R5 at that point and was like, dude, I had gone through like my like rapid, like from the Rebel to the RP to the R5, like a lot faster than because he was working and not getting gear acquisition syndrome. So, but then when he like shot it a little bit, he was like, bro.
bro.
So now we're more like colleagues and friends and stuff like that. So my photo group is kind of like whenever I run into them at events and we catch up, but I haven't gone on like photo walk stuff. Like Rumple is probably the closest thing to like the photo community for me because we've like done shoots together. Like we streamed one shoot with Walk with Titans.
That's right. Yeah.
A power metal band here in Montreal. We did like their portraits together and we streamed that.
We mentioned that.
We basically just like had beer and set up the backdrop and shot them. It was fun. But yeah, it's fun because there's actually like a few photographers. There's Romantics, there's Dig Photo Inspirations, and there's Rumpelstiltskin. And the three of us, like I've met Romantics and Rumple in real life, and now I have to meet Dig one of these times. I'll probably have them just over at my place when it's done snowing and dangerous to drive. But yeah, I want to do more walk around photo stuff with other photographers, especially like, Rumple and other people, because it's fun. I've been pretty insular, isolated as a photographer in the community, because most of it's like on Twitch, right? It's kind of like I'll IRL stream it and I'm there with like 20 people, but I'm alone on the day. No one's like, like we're not taking photos of each other. It's more like me streaming and taking photos of things, which is very cool. But I wouldn't be mad at getting into more interactive stuff with people this next year.
Yeah, no. Actually, I know there's like the meetup app here, and it's like I do see some groups, and I did used to do like a few things where it's like, oh, do this little walk down like motor roll, or there was like one where it was like learning about was it steel wool burning, or was it where it's basically you kind of like light this like little steel wool, you spin it around, it causes like that sparks photography, if you will, you know.
Yeah.
Is it so basically it's kind of like that, and that was like a fun little workshop there for that, and it's like I should try to do that a little bit more often lately. So there was one person that did submit a question, Starfall Cause, who's a friend of mine, and she did ask if there was a big difference in the cosplay scene in Canada versus the States, which I don't know. Have you been to a convention at all?
Rumple can probably speak to that more than I can specifically. Because Rumple actually shoots cosplay. I don't know. I don't know too much. I mean, it could all like if you ask me, I'd be like, it looks the same, but that would be my ignorance.
Yeah, because so. I imagine that there is like a little bit of different scene in cosplay and all that stuff. But what's kind of like house shot? Haven't gone to a con in a while. No, fair. As I said, it was one of the submission questions that I got. I was like, I should probably ask just to see which shot in the dark.
It's
which
a good question.
So it is kind of like that little fact of the matter. It is there.
Also, hey Sab, thanks for following Eric. They're very
thank
cool.
you. Here's your photo that's being contributed to the wall. One of so
Eric does this thing where he's got a bunch of photos, and every time you get a follow, it adds to the wall.
A follow, a sub, bits, raids, what have you. I don't know. I'm just trying to get this all the way to the end over here.
You've just been like doing it willy-nilly, and I feel like a lot of people have no idea what you're doing. You're like, here's the photo, and it's like,
no.
I don't know what he's doing. Just
sorry. I've
been let it continue.
I tried to make that explanation a little bit earlier, but then I know some people pop in. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt you. Be like, oh, hey, thank you so much for the follow. Here's your photo. So like, I'm just gonna be like subtle, be like, type, thank you. So just keep it subtle in that degree there.
Yeah. Just like here's the thing, and it's like too subtle.
I know, but as I say, I just didn't want it to deter it to be much. Where if you were like talking, be like, I'm on this tangent, be like, oh, hold on 1 second. Hey, thank you so much for the follow on my end. All right, now continue.
No,
so as I said, it's like just trying to keep the flow going.
Spiel every single time.
Exactly. So, so especially with your background in music and opera, like what was the last show that you did lately, or I forget what.
Well, this event that I'm editing right now was from last night. They had their 2025, 2026.
Sorry, I meant to say that you performed in, not photographed.
Oh, that I performed in. The last performance that I did was a little while ago at this point, but it was I was hired as a ringer to do a role in Mozart's Magic Flute.
Mm-hmm.
At the University of Montreal with a bunch of the master's students there. So they needed an actual bass to go and do that role, because it's big and low, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to sing when you're in your undergrad or even your master's, depending on where you are vocally. They also didn't have like any like experienced basses, so they were like, hey, come sing this. And I was like, all right, cool. So that was the last thing that I did. That was fun. Been thinking more and more, like basically I haven't had a lot of like gigs like popping up in the way that it's like, oh yeah, like you're always singing. It's like, no, not really, but a lot of it is just keeping the chops up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, you're spending time working with like your own technique in your off time, and like revisiting roles that you sung a long time ago, and getting audition material together and seeing what feels good in your voice. Something will feel better at 32 that felt bad at 29. You know, it's like your voice is changing all the time as you get older, and it's, you know, guys, when you hit your 30s and you go through like what some describe as second vocal puberty, depending on your voice type. Jet, sorry, I'm imagining the sound. We have the chat commands muted tonight because it's really distracting when we're trying to have a conversation. But know that I heard that in my head. So, but yeah, the other cool thing is that because I'm shooting these events, these kind of events and stuff, they my proximity to the people in operatic power, so to speak, is like very close. Like I could like knock on a door on my way from one of my jobs and go like, hey, like the artistic director of the opera company, I could knock on his door and be like, hey, when would work for you? Because I'd like to come and sing for you sometime. And they'd probably like, we just like set up a time and I would go and sing for him. Like this guy. Like I would go and sing for him and be like, for your consideration, ... And that would be enough. And then they'd be like, actually, yeah, we're going to give you something. You know, it's like I worked with them for 2 years and freaking delivered. So it's not like they're like, I don't know, maybe you suck. You know, here's another person who just wants, you know, like a handout role or something like that. It's like, no, I proved
you made the
my,
connections. You made the connections and networking close enough with them, right?
Yeah, and more so than networking, I have proved myself on that very stage. Like they're like I've had roles where you walk out, nothing's happening except for you. You look at the small bald Italian man with his baton in the air, and he looks at you like, "All right, let's go," and you wail some Russian, and it's like. There's really no cooler feeling than that, you know, in like a 3,000 seat house.
No, I can imagine.
Like it's pretty sick. But it's like having done that like already, it's easier for me to walk up to somebody and be like, I want to sing for you, and they'd be like, oh, okay, great. Also, hi Sai, how you doing? But do you understand the Russian? Yes, I understand the Russian that I am singing or speaking in. That's sometimes something that people don't really think about when it comes to opera and stuff. It's like, oh, but it's in a different language and you don't speak it, so you don't understand it. It's like it's called translating. You like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like it's possible for the person who's acting in a John Wick movie speaking Russian badly, but chances are they know the words that they're saying and what they mean. They're not just doing syllabic sounds. They're like they have the script, they have the translation. They've worked with like, yeah, it's like you have to know how to emphasize a word in a way that like makes sense. You can't just like go out there and be like, I'm gonna do everything growly and whatever. It's like, no, you sound like a robot that doesn't know what he's saying.
Or speak like bar talk or something like that.
Than you do.
But ChatGPT has more inflection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just pick on the back. We're just easy targets. No, that's kind of funny. Yeah, because I remember when I was taking like voice lessons and did like recitals and such, it was kind of like that. But it was like it was not only like try and learn the language, like at least for the song and how the right ways to pronunciate, but also just like a little bit the meaning behind there. And even when I took like a semester of Italian because I went to Italy for like a month for like a photo class, and there were a lot of like music students there trying to learn it, and how it is kind of funny, like the correlation where it's like I came from learning Spanish before I started learning Italian. But how, like, all right, for those who learn Spanish, you're able to transition into Italian easily. but not for those who learn French first to try and transition. It is just kind of interesting, like just the base of each language to that degree.
Everything is closer than English, though.
That's true.
That is for darn sure.
Oh, no, I'm learning German right now.
You're right. Like going from Spanish to Italian is closer than French to Italian, but it is not. Yeah, it's closer than English is to German. All right, I got class. Catch you later, Maple. Also, I did read your message about like finding you and talking about deathcore, and I appreciate that we became friends after that.
So, what's your usual recital song that you would do? So, like, or another question, I guess maybe it's not only recital. What's your go-to karaoke song? What's your go-to karaoke song that you would just like? Whip out like right there.
I personally, I have actually. This is a thing. I have a tough time with karaoke. I think it's because, like one part of it is the performance perfectionist in me wants to like do it right. The other thing is that like modern popular music that people like to sing, like, oh, sing Journey. I'm like, do you know what pitch that is? Listen to me speak. No one wants to listen to me sing that, you know? Even Metallica is like high baritone area.
Yeah.
Like it's not low. Heaviness in music, and even metal music and singing in metal does not mean that the pitch itself is low. Architects, all those metalcore bands, they're relying on the most average voice type, which is essentially pop music, which is high baritone tenor or really high tenor. Like it's like, no, the dude from Periphery is not a bass, and it's just the way he does his technique, how he sings like that. No, it's like you've got like Typo Negative. That's like your option for low voiced metal singing. Everybody else is like,
I think I lost you because you went such a high register there.
Yeah, no, it's my it's the noise suppression thing that I have that cuts out ambience, and it was like picked it up as a fan, but anyways, all I'm saying is like you listen to any of these bands and stuff, and it's like none of them are like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's so metal. You know, it's like maybe so like metal. A pirate metal band.
Pirate metal, yeah.
But that's like about it. Growls, however, yeah, low voices have the heavier growls for sure.
I forget what it was, like was it like the Frank Sinatra or like kind of like vocal tones? I forget what it's called. Someone was mentioning in a stream earlier of that, but just like where it's like kind of low enough but just casual enough. But still, even then, like
actually, to answer your question,
I was gonna say,
the croonery stuff, and
croonery. That's it. That's
like a Johnny Cash or something like that. You know, like you can do kind of like a the if there's a low version of like Fly Me to the Moon, maybe, you know, if it's like if you're feeling kind of loose about it, but also yeah, like Ring of Fire is like an easy one because it's just like ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba, and you can kind of like swing into it and everybody loves it, so it's like,
oh yeah,
it's chill.
Yeah, my usuals is either some Red Hot Chili Peppers, and again sometimes it's like, and again like you just gotta go with it, just have fun, sometimes make jokes of it. My surprisingly go-to is Chandelier by Sia, which you would not think for like a bass baritone section, but have you ever heard of Puddles?
I want to see swing from the chandelier.
No, honestly, like that's where I got the inspiration was this. Have you ever heard of Puddles Pity Party at all? It's like,
no, what is that?
So it's basically like this like bass baritone singer, and it's have you heard of Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox, where they kind of remix a bunch of like pop songs into like Roaring Twenties kind of beats or something like that?
I mean, I'm sure I've seen something like that. I've seen a lot of kind of like genre bendy stuff, like the guy who does, you know,
I know.
Maple
So
X Eric album dropping soon. Heck
maybe.
yeah.
But no, he's basically he's actually very tall. I think he's like a 6'5", 6'7" man, and he dresses up like sort of like a Pagliacci kind of clown, where he's got like this. He's all white. He's got like the sad makeup, and he's like, "Party girls don't get hurt, can't kill anything. While will I learn? I push it down, push it down." And you know, he kind of just like he makes that tone to the register, and honestly, like I kind of took inspiration from that. I'm just
it
like,
has to fit it has to fit the theme more so than anything. I think like it's the presentation of it that matters so much more than
true
whether you can sing it in the right key. Because like a lot of the times, whether you like it or not, the bands that you're going to see live are often doing songs a full step down.
No, fair.
Like, hoping that people don't have perfect pitch and they're like trying to sing along, and 1% of the audience is like, that's not an A though. They're actually doing a G, like
yeah, that bit of like trying to
most
recreate
people,
the album.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. But it's like a lot of people are not doing it in the original key. Like, I would have my doubts that Metallica is still doing stuff in the original key.
No, yeah. But as I said, it was that bit where it's like I kind of just swung it out in my own register. It's like I could try to do Linkin Park and sing Chester Bennington like that high bit, but I always notice I catch myself going down a register. But at least with that, like I've always noticed like, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. It's kind of like that little bit where it's like it's embracing like that like vocal tones, and then as long as you're like reaching that point, then I don't know, it's like I've sung it to like at a party, I sung it at a bar one time, and people, as long as you're singing the right notes and you seem to have that confidence and power, I feel like that is just what people luck out in a karaoke song.
And that's it too. You sing it, and karaoke is not about like it's not about doing it right. It's about doing it confidently.
Mm-hmm.
But doing something confidently is really hard when you have the knowledge that you're like not doing it right, which is where like the paralysis of being a professional in that field kind of takes hold, where you're like, I know that what I'm doing is like wrong, and it's like you have your like voice teacher in your head going like, this isn't for you, this doesn't like suit your voice well, you should sing this instead, like, not to say every voice teacher is like that, but like I think it's like it happens enough that I can mention it.
No,
like,
no, they know your register, they say this is a fitting song for that and all that, so no, I agree on that little aspect there. But it's that bit where it's like, yeah, have that confidence, but don't have too much of liquid courage, if you will. I think that's another factor in there to that beats. But as we're talking about songs and such, if you were to be a lead in any musical or opera, or at least whatever part that you would want to have, what would it be?
Oh, this is just, I mean, you're asking, okay, I'll try to put some context on it, because I know lots of people in here who don't like follow anything, because like I have an immediate like gut reaction, and then it goes into just like people who have studied voice before talking shop, and then it's like, how do I contextualize this for other people? So I'm sure you guys know the story of Faust. Like, guy sells his soul to the devil so he can be young again, so he can like sweep this girl off her feet or whatever, and then it ends up like ending terribly because she like gets killed, and then he loses his soul, and it was actually like not worth it at all, turns out, that kind of thing. The role of the devil in Gounod's Faust is awesome. Mephistopheles, it's just like really fun. All of his music is really fun. It's like bombastic and cool. That one's really cool, but there's also a role, the same role by a different composer, which I've shown on stream before. It's Boito's Mephistopheles. It's in Italian, not French, and it's like 3 to 4 hours of just the most intense, huge brass, just like 100-piece orchestra, metal as all Dickens. It's so cool, but like
Metal's all Dickens.
You gotta be so technically sound to sing something as big as that. But if the day ever came where I was actually cut out for it and I got the opportunity, I think Mephistopheles in the Mephistopheles by Boito. It was the only opera that the guy ever wrote, but he wrote libretto for Verdi.
Okay. It's like I only have so much opera knowledge, but I know a little bit.
Right? It was Verdi, right?
Yeah.
So libretto. I mean, just share some fake news with you guys. Or yes. Okay. Yeah. No, I was correct. Was an Italian poet and composer acclaimed for his opera Mephistopheles in 1868, for which he composed both libretto and music, and his librettos after William Shakespeare for Giuseppe Verdi's Otello in 1887 and Falstaff in 1893. But he died after his one opera. He didn't do anything else after that. And what a banger that thing is. Hot dang.
I have to try check into that then. Let's see. So kind of like winding back
also,
to just
these
a
are
little
fun. Thank you for having some of these like questions like ready to go. It's like I try to like on the spot come up with interesting questions, and I think like it can happen and it has happened, but it does take like mental energy, and sometimes I'm just like trying to work and do this at the same time, and I like won't have like a questions list beforehand. So props to you holding down the fort in this. I feel like when I have specific questions for you, I usually will bring it up, but
no, that's fine there. Because again, the SAP chat's all featuring you. So
my people also want to get to know you as well, because I mean, as you all know, I rant enough on my own time. So
no, and I rant enough on my own time as well. So it is kind of getting that little aspect there. Well, sort of like winding back to photography kind of things like that. So was there any particular shoot that you ever had where things went really wrong, or just didn't go as planned, or just couldn't believe what happened in the moment, and how were you able to recover from it, or how were you able to resolve for your photo gig, if you will? Every shot.
There's definitely every
we all have our stories. We all have our moments of like, oh my goodness, it's like what's something that. And how did you?
Some while I'm thinking of the photo one, Kat, hello. This is Eric. You know Eric, right?
No. It is that bit where it's like I'm astounded like how much you're able to like remember people, and for me it always takes me a second to be like, wait, who's this, who's that? And again, you just have such a good memory, while my brain is like, all right, I gotta remember this person, but I gotta take this other person out of my mind just to fill in the space or something like that. So pardon me.
It does help that people don't change their name colors very often. And also on top of that, it does help that every time they go live, I see their name and I see their screenshot. So it's like, whether I like it or not, I'm burning their name into my head. So like fair. Which is fun, because then like when I'm live and I'm like, oh yeah, I just like recall other streamers, just like, here's 5. It's like, like, oh, you're a fan of photo streamers? Name 5 streamers. And I'm like, just waiting for somebody to do that thing. Be like, I see you're wearing a Dream Theater shirt. Name 5 songs.
Nah. It's even that bit where it's like, oh, you're a Cubs fan. Name the current lineup. I'm like, I haven't really followed them. I'm just a fair weather fan. Whatever.
Oh, You have a problem with certain athletes in women's sports. Name 5 women's sports athletes. It's
Oh my
like, well,
goodness.
maybe.
How about you first?
Yeah.
I don't know. I am like that person where it's like I usually remember faces more than names, or for me to remember names, I always got like put something weird associated. Like for the longest time, like my parents' neighbors who were called the Salernos, I honestly called them the Cilantros for the longest time just to remember their bloody name or something to that degree. So it's like I gotta say a name or I gotta think of something visually and something in my head just to try to remember. So I just have trouble with that on my end. But visuals usually help.
Oh, okay. So I so I've had probably the most amount of like stress and like things are not going well when I'm doing recordings in the past.
Hmm.
Sometimes I've had issues with like my recording device like not wanting to charge properly, or it's like dying while I'm doing a session. And oh man, I've learned so much about like I've recovered wave audio files using Audacity and like looking at the
Hmm.
raw data and then like changing like the way like basically changing like zeros and one of how it like reads the raw data, like
Hmm.
bring back the wave file. And
Like
I'm
the
like,
code or something.
that stuff, a nightmare to deal with. Just horrifying. It has only ever happened once, and I'm like, never again. Never again will I let that happen. But
Hmm.
the one time I went and shot a portrait session for some donors at the opera, I had my softbox, I had my flash, I had my trigger, and my trigger, something happened or I forgot
Oh.
how like which button was what, and I could not get my flash into like slave mode
Hmm.
to go from the trigger. And it's like I had been doing a decent amount of like off-camera flash at that point, and then I like went to use it and it just like wasn't working. And I was like, what is happening? And I'm like buzzer beatering
Mhm.
like to get this thing running. And thankfully the thing like got pushed back because they were like late getting there. But I was like sweating. I was like just about to huck my stuff through a window. I was like, I need to get this to work now. So like you guys, like I test my stuff at home. Like sometimes you test everything, everything's working,
Mhm.
you get to the thing, and then an input is not reading, and you need to calmly but surely figure out a problem. Like
Mhm.
photography and videography specifically and such is 40% creativity and 60% problem solving. That's just
Yep.
like you have to like puzzles and you have to like being cool under pressure if you are working with other people. It's just there's I don't know how else to put it. It's like something's not working. You can't just yell at it in front of your client. Like
No.
I even though you want to, but it's like, okay, your flash isn't working and the sun went down because they're late.
Mhm.
What are you doing? Like where do you go? Do you like try to go to an area with more light? Do you try and quickly run and grab all of the white material that you can to try and like bounce
Mm.
uh some like terrible overhead lighting into another area of the room so that you can like take a photo of them there, you know, like you know,
Mm.
it's there's you got to like fixing stuff and doing stuff, but test your gear at home and play with your gear. Like I think sometimes like when you start out and you only have one camera and one lens, it's like it's so easy to just take it with you all like, oh, I'm going to the kitchen to make some coffee. I'll bring my camera. I'll take some picture of my coffee. You know, it's like but then you get to the certain point where it's like your job and you've got a bunch of cameras, you've got a bunch of lenses and you only really pick it up for work. Go and mess with your stuff for fun. You know, like test it at home, try new lighting things, like just so you don't accidentally forget stuff that's really like that that's really obvious, but if you have a brain fart on the day and you're like, my flash is not working properly, like go through every setting, know what each one does. Like be interested in the gear that you've bought and spend time with it, because when eventually something goes wrong, at least you know where to start, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like I've spent so much time in OBS at this point where something's up and I'm like, it's probably taking a load from this filter, or this bit rate is happening here. I'm also trying to tax the system here. My task manager says it's fine, but I know that within OBS, it's having a tough time. How do I circumvent that? It's like, you just have to be interested in your own gear. So
Mm-hmm.
do that and you'll have less like scary in the moment this thing isn't working. What about you? You have any like nightmare
I do have
scenarios
a few.
that have
I do have a few. Like, you are right where it's like it is that bit where if something can happen, it will happen mindset, and you just gotta improvise. You just gotta go with the flow, which that's what happens. And I guess like kind of like speaking along the lines of the lighting, I got two stories. So this is the first one. So like kind of like along the lines with the flash, like this past fall, like I bought like this new trigger flash for my Westcott's, and it's been doing great, it's doing well. But then suddenly, like I went to a meetup, one of our meetups, and it was working fine for most of the meetup, but then suddenly it was acting weird during the day. Where the trigger would still work, but for some reason it would not work right off the camera. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And once in a while it would still work, and it was weird. And it was near the end of the day. I'm like, whatever. Maybe it just my camera's just overdone or something like that. I take that same camera, funny enough, the same location to where that meetup was hosted, like a week or two later. And I'm doing this full photo shoot, and it's like, all right, I want to use some flashes, kind of like that degree, and yet I'm still coming with the same issue to where the flash, even though the trigger is still connecting to the camera, like I do the test button, it's flashing, but when it's on the camera, it's not working at all. So then I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do?
weird.
Like, no, I think I know why. I think either it just wasn't, the trigger itself was just not connecting right to the camera, or at least like the hot shoe was just not. Either way, there was just a connection issue between the hot shoe and my trigger. So it was that little bit where I'm like, all right, what do I do? Do I just shoot natural light, which I haven't done in a while? But then I kind of thought of a quick thought method where it's like my FJ 20. I'm always forgetful of models and types, but how like my FJ20 has, which is just a regular speed light or something like that. So it does have a control to where I could have it be the host trigger and whatever, like
and you just like slave it.
I slave it with the other same brand. So I'm like, all right, I just got to keep the cover on the bloody camera itself, and then I can still use my key lights to wherever. And then, FJ80. No, thank you. I know my brands. I know my cameras. I know the
Freaking nerds.
Sorry. God knows I can't even recall what
I am so dialed into like gear numbers and titles and stuff that it's just like fun,
and
for
I'm
me
just
to poke
like
fun at somebody else for once.
And I'm just like, what type of phone do I have right now? I forget. What's this current iPhone lately? I don't know. It's just like it's just so tough to keep up with a lot of stuff for me. And then I also got all the lights I have to deal with at my workplace as well. So as I said, it's just that bit where it's just a lot of stuff I'm just juggling with data wise and stuff. But so anyway, it's like as I said, I came to the conclusion that it might be the trigger. I went to another shoot, but I brought my old trigger, like the previous model, which I brought that, and then guess what? It was working fine. So I'm like, all right, it's the trigger. So I got to figure out what it was. The R6, and as I said, it was working. It worked fine for months. I literally shot a wedding with that same trigger, and it was fine. It just for some reason, like it just decided not to connect right at that moment. So I might get a new one. I don't know, to that degree. So as I said, it's just that bit of like improvise. Stay cool, calm under pressure. I was like, what the heck is going on? And you're puzzled, and either you just gotta improvise. And as I said, I would have gone honestly natural lights and just get back to like my roots if need be. But thankfully I was able to get that working and find a good solution. Now, my other story is the start of my cosplay photography career, to which, as I said, when I got into cosplay photography, I kind of did an ad posting saying like, hey, I'm new to photography. Does anyone want to try to do a shoot? And I had this one person, NX Glorious cosplay. They did a Fallout cosplay, like just like a vault dweller. They had like some 3D printed kind of stuff right there. I've been having issues with the V trigger on Wisconsin. Okay, so all right, so I'm not the only one. Good to know. Good to know.
Interesting.
So like we did a shoot technically actually where I work for NBC Universal, and the studios is actually filmed at an old steel factory that they converted to be studios, but they still had some of the aesthetics of like this old factory outside, and we were also not too far from a train yard. So we did some stuff inside, and then we do some stuff outside, and then we kind of like make our way to the train yard area, to which I was like, all right, you're not going on. I know for safety wise, you're not going on those train tracks. We're just going to like, just do stuff in the general area. And there were like trains passing by and what have you. I'm like, all right. And we were starting to wrap up the shoot. And it was that bit where we noticed a security car that was coming up in front and was like, uh-oh, what's going on? And it was that same little bit. I'm like, all right, what do we do? Do we run? I'm like, well, that makes us look guilty. Maybe they don't notice us or what have you. And so basically the security car comes up, and because like the cosplayer has this fake gun, which is a 3D model pulse rifle, if you know Fallout at all. And basically like the security guard comes up and shouts, put the weapon down on the ground. And so I'm like, I tell the cosplayer, all right, yeah, just put it down. I even put down my camera, which has like, the flash extensions on there. And, she puts her prop down. I put my camera down. The guard comes, looks closely, is like, is that a toy, or is that a prop or something to that degree? And we're like, oh yes. And
you were like, no, it's a real pulse rifle.
No. So,
then you blew up his car with it.
No. Oh God. So again, it was just that moment of like, holy shit, this is my first cosplay shoot ever. And even though I didn't think we were, but because how it was like a specific company that owned that
in America. So I do get it. There's like,
so it was that little bit where, well, this is a great start to my cosplay photography career. And it's just that bit where like, again, but it was kind of funny enough. Like, all right, we're like, oh yeah, we're just doing a quick little photo shoot. We were just around the area. We just want to use the setting. And they're like, oh yeah, like a train reported some people were on the yard. And usually when we get reports, it's either someone with a paintball gun and shooting the train tracks or something like that. And so it was just that bit of like, okay. And no, so there was reasons why, and we were, polite and said thank you so much. And I was like, I was getting ready to be like, let me just pull out the SD card in case they said something. But we were walking away from the shoots, and then like suddenly like I realized, oh shoot, we have some props that we put down on the ground nearby. So I'm walking back. I'm like, pardon me, sorry, we forgot a few things we left. So I'm just grabbing that and go in and be like, let's get out of here. So as I said, it was just kind of like a little fun moment. Well, not fun moment, scary ass moments, as a 24-year-old starting his cosplay photography career. So
yeah, for sure. But, and it's like when security walks up and you're like, am I like in trouble, right? Like, that like fear of that. But then you also look at it from the flip side and you're like, okay, there's two people out there. It looks like one of them has a gun. They're by a train track. Are they shooting cans, or are they just like,
no,
like,
exactly.
What are they doing? Are they
and this is the west side of Chicago, so that is
mind or whatever too. So
no, and again, as I said,
I do understand
no, so you understand, you gotta be respectful, and God knows like that has been something that I've been cautious every time like I'm going on locations, like, all right, what's their photo policy and such. And usually for like collab shoots you could get away with it, like you don't need a permit. It's like, oh, we're not being paid or something like that. So it's like you could get away with that because it's usually commercial or weddings or something where it's like that caliber where they want you to pay a permit, but either way, it's that kind of like a little bit there. Mitz did ask, did you ever
Yeah,
forget
and
your
also,
camera? Oh, sorry. Continue. Sorry.
No, 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 no. I was just gonna say sometimes like it also depends on like how much gear you have too, which is why people, even people that are like doing like, like short films and stuff like that too. It's like they're opting for things like, your FX3s or your FX30s and stuff that aren't like cinema cameras, because as soon as you have like a big boy camera and like a video tripod, people are like, "Hey, you're not allowed to be here," but you're like allowed
Mhm.
to have like a normal camera. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Like when it
know how to
becomes
be in
something high budget.
incognito.
No, and especially for me, I'm always used to like walking and moving locations so quickly and easily. So that's always been my bit where it's like I'm always like moving around a little bit. And even like for some conventions, some people like complain about like the convention staff being like, oh, this person was telling me to put down my gear or all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I had the opposite effect. I even had a security guard told me this location is the best location to get a photo at. So as I said, it's just the
Well, there you go.
it's
Just
just
be nice, be respectful. They're doing their job,
no, exactly. And even then,
you
like,
know. And like, to be fair, I hope that if I was going into an area where there was a security guard supposed to be doing their job and somebody had an actual gun and was screwing around, I would hope that the security guard would say something, you know?
mhm,
It's like,
no.
good. Thank you for
Well,
stopping me. Sorry to stress everybody out, but also at the same time,
yeah,
tough.
and that's always that bit where cosplayers who do have prop guns, like I'm always asking, please tell me you have a orange tip on the tip of that prop. And like, and it's like, oh yes, I do. But I can you take. I was like, no, 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 no. Keep that on, please. Photoshop. I could just color that out. I could do whatever you can. Please do not remove that. That is our safety guard right here. So it is kind of
Yeah.
like that funny bit. So
Unless
there
you are
was,
out in the woods on your own property or something like that. Like,
yeah,
if you're in public spaces, just like, it's so obvious what you're doing,
no.
but to anyone else, just like, you don't want to risk it.
And especially like for because again like the group I help with cos meetup, we kind of organize like meetup events, and one of the rule policies that we always have is like please no realistic weapons, because there were like times where we were out in public in Lincoln Park or in downtown Chinatown and we're
Put
like
down the gravity hammer.
no, exactly. So it's just that bit where it's like it's just easier to just tell people just no weapons, please, we're out in public, we don't want to scare the normies, as we say.
Yeah.
um There was one person who did ask a question. Mittens. Did you ever forget
Oh,
your
Da
camera?
Vinci.
Have you
Good to see you.
ever forgotten your camera at home or something like that? I feel like
I
I feel.
have, yes, yes. I once upon a time only brought, no, I actually forgot it because I was charging it beforehand. I I left my battery at home.
Oof.
I left everything on the chargers and I grabbed my stuff, threw it in my bag. I had to do video recordings and I actually had to phone in a friend to drive and meet me and like meet me at the opera. I was like, I ended up like cutting it out of their like bill and stuff for like the time and stuff, and we still got everything done and stuff, but it was like, and like when something like that happens, just like admit that it's like, hey, this clearly doesn't happen a lot, you know, but like I don't have the thing that I need, and I need
Mhm.
20 minutes to run to the photo store and buy a battery. Like, I have
Yeah.
things that I've bought full price, like in the moment, super stressful. Like, I had to go down there and buy a thing that I have 5 of because I left it at home. Like,
Hmm.
been lurking. Hello, bye. Helena, thank you. You know Eric?
Yeah.
Eric's cool.
um. Yeah, I know that has happened to me before. Thankfully, not a camera. Like that's always like the first thing I'm always double checking, even when I'm in my car or like I'm throwing stuff in my car. It's like, let me double check before I leave. But
Yeah.
there is a story. There is a story. I just can't recall which one. It could be. It could possibly be like a light, or I feel like for me it might be like maybe a light diffuser or something that I probably forgotten. But yet I either carry some extra ones around. We're like, all right, I'm going to improvise and use this bounce flash or something to that degree. I feel like that's my usual thing I forget. It's like I thought I packed this, but this diffusion, whether it's an umbrella or a softbox, and then I forget. I'm like, all right, time to improvise. So, as I said, kind of just like that little bit there.
I've also like looked. I've gotten my camera somewhere and then realized that I didn't take the time to like clear off memory card stuff, or I had stuff that I like couldn't clear yet for sure, or I like didn't know if I fully if I got those video files off the computer or off the camera or whatever, or I just go through the whole card and I'm like, crap, I need more space. And like I do everything, like I do all of my video recording on the R5 and I do the 4K HQ mode. I don't do all intra, but my files are not small and they look awesome. The R5 has awesome video. So I'll use it.
I should try to do that.
But there have been times where I've been like, it's like, oh, I'd like to take another take of this aria. And it's like a 5-minute soprano aria. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but we have to record these in 1080p because like I just don't have the storage. Like I think that's something that every photographer should have is just a blank memory card. Like a 126 gig card in a case inside a slip pocket, the same way that you would keep an AirTag. Just have one SD card that is dedicated to emergencies. Just overflow. Just have one around, you know?
No, that's
because I do cameras, they've got dual card slots, like you start to lose track of stuff. Just have the one that you put a big red X on it and you're like, this is my overflow card. If you ever use it, you clear it off immediately after. Like, just so you don't get stuck in those situations where you're like, hey, we have to do this thing, and would you come and shoot this thing real quick? It's super important. And you're like, I don't have any space on your card. And it's like, it's right now though. And it's like you don't even have time to go through and like delete enough pictures to like make room for it. You know?
No. Like I'm thankful I've gotten enough cards and either like so I guess that's a question. It's like how often do you cycle through your cards? Like you format them? Like do you just I know like I try to switch around between I feel like I over format usually on my end, but I usually like either like, all right, if I know I'm traveling over, because like I know if there's a convention I'm going to that is, out of state, like Dragon Con, and I know there's going to be a lot of lobby photos I'm going to take, like maybe I'll have like 128 gigabyte card and then maybe a 64 gigabyte card ready, and I just prep that. Or especially for weddings is when I'm photographing, I have that 120, and I don't usually seem to fill it up, thankfully, but it's just good to have that extra one. But I usually do keep like a little extra SD card, whether it is with like my hard drive, which I usually do to back up stuff whenever I'm traveling, if I have the time to travel, so that it's like at least it's there. But no, I do like that little marker just to be like, all right, this is your
overflow or whatever,
your extra life, if you will, that you need for the situation. Exactly. So no, that's an interesting approach there. That is always something.
I don't really do it because I usually have enough cards. Like I'll check before I go now, just out of habit. I turn on my cameras before I put them in the bag, and then I look at how many photos my SD card shows that I have left that I can shoot. So that does a couple things. One, ensures I actually have enough space. Two, it shows that there's a battery in that camera.
True.
So even if I like forgot batteries, I wasn't forgetting the battery for the camera that I'm using. You can go on battery saver mode. You can turn it off when you're not using it. You can prolong your camera's life like a lot further if you're not just leaving it on the whole night. But
Oh yeah.
you know, it's you learn from your mistakes pretty freaking quick when it
Oh
comes to
yeah.
batteries and storage. So yeah, it's not something I regularly deal with nowadays, but it's happened.
It happens. It happens for sure. Um, so I guess going back to a little bit about Twitch and all that stuff. What's if you were
Yeah.
to give like advice to a photographer who wants to start streaming, what is your first go-to advice? Would you recommend more on the presentation? Would you recommend more on audio? What are like the first go-to steps? Because I definitely know some people that definitely try to perfect everything right off the bat, but sometimes I know some people are like, I just want to stream and just see where it goes. And sometimes you might adopt your personality or what your stream might be because you know you're taking some time to do these streams and see what vibes, what fits. So what's some word of advice
Bye,
that you have
Mittens.
there?
Have a good night. Good to
Good
see
night.
you back. For me, the main thing, if well, this is so basic. This is like assuming that they know freaking nothing. You gotta
Mhm.
stream in a category, and in my opinion, there are like 3 tiers of photo streaming category. To me, just chatting is
Mhm.
if you have created a full cam uh, face chatting screen. If you have that in your OBS scenes, you're probably streaming and just chatting. If
Mhm.
you only have a photo editing stream with you in the corner, you're probably more of an art category streamer. To me, this is how I just interpret it. And
Yeah.
if you are somebody that is thinking about buying a mic sometime, you are in the co-working streaming category. It's like just vibes wise, like I think just to maximize off of what people think, people that are looking through the just chatting category and through the recommends and stuff, you got to be a little chatty. You got to be a little chatty
Mhm.
Cathy if you're going to be in just chatting. You know, if you're just
Yeah.
like mostly vibing with chatting, you know, it's art, and co-working is like I'll check chat when I can, is kind of how
Mhm.
I interpret it. You got to tag photography. If you do not tag photography, I will be in your stream yelling at you to tag photography, because we've just kind of established that that is the tag that people use and search by to find new people. I use a Twitch Commander Root tool bot to search people's keywords in their titles. That's how I find new people.
Yeah,
I do not use the tags to find people.
that's
So
right.
I will use the bot to find people, and then I'll yell at them to tag photography, and then I'll shout them out. But I know that not everybody's looking at the photo streams channel, which is fair. That'd be really, insane of me to think that everyone's just glued to that channel. But
Mhm.
it's like, at least if they tag photography, other people who are naturally looking for people will find it because they have tagged it.
Yeah.
That is the pre setup. I'm thinking about doing photos. That's it. That's what you need. Production side, audio always more than video.
Mhm.
Uh, but more importantly than your quality of your audio and your video, you got to see chat, which is interaction first and whatever you're doing second, in my opinion. I don't watch people's streams to be a screensaver. I watch people's streams to hear about what they're doing. And if I ask them a question and they do not respond
Mhm.
within a minute or two, unless they're like clearly really focused on something, like if Silver Grains has her hands in freaking chemical, and I'm like, why aren't you looking at chat? It's like, that's acceptable. But if you're like working on your computer and you just like don't ever look at chat, I will not stay. I'll be real nice about it, but I'll be like, anyway, I gotta get some stuff done. Make sure that you tag photography or whatever. Like I'll be nice about it, but I personally am not interested in staying around for a stream that does not interact with chat. So uh That's a really big one. From there, audio. I have to be able to hear you. If I can't hear you, I'm not sticking around. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly compressed and EQ'd and blah 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 blah. Like, I mean, I'm a nerd and I like doing it for me. But for me to expect like pristine audio from every single person, that's crazy. I would like you to speak into the front of the mic, not the back, because some people just straight up don't test their microphones, or like, you're fine, by the way.
Sorry, I was like, oh, let's get a little distant here.
It's just like, maybe I should get this a little bit. It's like, you're fine.
I know.
But
it's like,
yeah,
it's like, was it like posture check versus mic check? You know, like posture check, mic check.
Yeah, legit. Just like,
actually, wish I should do that.
Yeah, I need to get a stand where it's like mic check, and it's like, make sure that you're speaking into the label of the microphone.
Yeah.
And also just know that like red in OBS does not mean clipping. I think that's like one of the biggest things that people don't understand is like, oh, I'm starting to clip. You're not. There is clipping and there is not clipping. Clipping is when it hits zero and the whole meter goes red. At that point, you are clipping, like, mathematically. That's just the way it works. If you are in the red, it's nothing more than a warning that you are getting close to clipping. Me right now, while you're talking right now, unless you're clipping beforehand, you're in the red. Both of us are talking in the red right now. It just means that people don't have to have their speakers dialed up to 100 just to hear you. Some people are like, well, I'm in the green and it's just going into the yellow a little bit. I'm like, that's too quiet. It's too quiet. Like, it just is. So that is advice. From there, do the video settings that your computer can handle. Don't stream in 60 FPS if you're doing photo editing, because Adobe will eat all of the processing that you can give it. And doing 60 FPS just for you to like slowly move your masks around the screen is stupid.
Oh, fair. Yeah, no, I do agree on.
But least, I mean, I know that you ask like, what beginner advice, and I'm like giving you a masterclass.
No. Like, honestly, nothing wrong with that. As I said, I was just letting you talk. I mean, like, no, there are some fine points there, because again, there has happened that bit where it's like I raid someone and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to interact with you, and I'm just like, okay.
Never feel bad. People wanted me to lean. Yeah, I did have to get you to speak up. However, after the fact, I realized that the reason is that it's set up for my it's distance-wise we're okay, but like Ricochet.
Nice.
Subscribing with the primo. Thanks, man. That's very cool of you. I'm sorry that the alert thing got cut off there. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, my alert's a little weird, but I'm also like, whatever. I don't have too much going on. But no, as I said,
Prime, man, I appreciate it.
It is that same bit where even like my film classes where, oh, sorry, you're saying?
Oh no. Go on.
So like when my film classes, I remember like one of the things that they did teach us was like, oh, like, you know, as much as you think film is a medium of visuals, like the one thing you still need to work on that is key is audio, because again, people still need to hear, they need to listen. You need to add like whether music or sound effects enhance it. So it's like, it is still a key feature in there. And although like, and again, I know like I've had like a little practice because I actually did do some DJ work for like my college radio stations. Like I knew like, all right, the ideal music level for bed, it's like, all right, around like -40 to -50, give or take, as you're talking with someone or something like that. But it is something that I guess for those who are not initiated into sort of like broadcasting format to that degree, where it's like, what is like the right stuff. So it is kind of like that bit where like, you know, how you definitely have a bigger knowledge of sound recording and audio stuff than I do, but it's like I still had like that enough training to know the basic concepts of it, that, you know, it is something that we try to impart that knowledge.
Yeah, I just all I ever want to do is save people some time. Like that's pretty much it. Like
True.
I just don't want I don't want people to have to go down like a YouTube rabbit hole. It that's that it's just it's so tedious, and you know, it'd be just really freaking great if I just wish that somebody would tell me, "Hey, your encoder setting is a little bit weird, like this," or "Oh, it's skipping frames, but here's an actual solution." Because like, there's a lot of people that just get in Twitch chat, and then they're like, Mike, oh, it's skipping frames, but they don't actually like provide any sort of an
Instructs.
idea of how to like help it. They
Mhm.
just kind of like, yeah, something's wrong. And I'm like, I think that it's the responsibility of somebody, uh, like if I'm okay, like maybe I'll say this. Maybe this is bad and people can yell at me if I'm, you know, off base with this. But I feel like if I'm going to come into somebody's chat and tell them that their stuff is borked, that I that it's my responsibility to help them unbork it, you know?
Mhm.
Like if I just come in and say that something's wrong, well, that's not very helpful. That's just, you know,
Yeah, it's not
like
productive. So,
if like it's like you see the problem if and you clearly know why it's a problem and what it is, help them fix it.
mhm.
Or
I
direct somebody to somebody who can fix it or
yeah.
something. Otherwise, you're
So
just being a dick.
no, agreed. It's like
You're just
criticism
like,
is good
figure it
when you
out.
want news.
Google how to be better. It's like, thanks, man. Super helpful.
It's like throw a few like maybe suggestions, ideas. Well, again, it is that bit where it's like I definitely know when things come awry. It's like I definitely don't say, "Oh, try do this" or well, "Do this, do that." I was like, you know, as I more ask
Oh yeah, you got to have
questions.
immaculate vibes. Also, Ricochet, thanks for coming in. You guys go check out Ricochet as well. They're a film photographer, and they do a lot of film photography scanning and stuff on stream. So if you
Hmm.
guys are into that analog lifestyle, go check out Ricochet.
But
Thanks for
no,
the prime, man. Enjoy your lurk
but
and
yeah, it is.
your salute emotes. Enjoy it.
Hmm. But no, it is that bit where it's like, yeah, you just gotta wonder like what is not too impeding onto someone. And it's like, you know, you want to like help someone, but you don't want to be like too correcting of it. And I don't know, it's always like trying to find that right balance, you know, on it.
I
It's got
Yeah, I will admit, I have gotten more bold with it. I think that I can read a room pretty well in like whether it's going to derail a stream or not.
mhm,
Because that is like definitely part of it is like just being like able to see, hey, like now's not the time, you know.
yeah.
It's like, hey, whisper me later or something like that. But it's
Yeah.
like, know that I can fix something within 2 minutes. Like, I'm not gonna like start shouting about something that's gonna take 20 minutes to fix.
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh, here's like a quick thing. If you go to your filters on your mic and you turn on noise suppression, I'll actually be able to hear you over the fan behind you. And then they do it, and it's like amazing audio all of a sudden. And I'm like, great, that's all you needed to do.
Yeah,
Or like
exactly.
let
It's
them
like,
know because there are some people that just straight up don't know.
yeah. No, that's fair. Another question I
But
have,
yeah,
which
if you're gonna comment on problems, be willing to help fix them.
or at
What
least
I'm
it's
saying.
kind of like that combination is like you gotta like both give a little criticism, but also still gotta like say like some you always gotta throw a little bit like, oh, this is still great or something like that, just to try to like not be all pessimistic negative, which sadly there are some people I know that just point out all the wrongs that one does. Um, but one question which we were talking about, like how you're going in talking about people using, you know, telling them, oh, use the photo tags and all that stuff. One thing I've always noticed, especially like whenever I am trying to use a tag, is like the amount of people that do use the photography tag, even though they are not doing anything photo related. Like if it's a photo mode during a game, or if it's fucking Pokemon Snap, you know, maybe, but it's like just What's
I've
your thoughts on
also,
that?
like, yeah, so my thoughts on it are I don't use the tag, so I don't care.
Fair enough. Oh, really? You
Kat, thank
tell.
you for coming by, and also again, I'm very happy that we got your sitch figured out. I can't wait to see your next stream
Hmm.
and hear how it sounds. Because again, I was just completely basing it off of I was eyeballing it. So if it sounds awful, we'll fix it. I promise to fix something if I broke it. But enjoy your sleep. Also, you guys can follow Kat.
Oof.
She does great concert photography work. It's very cool. And yeah. So in terms of the tag and people not doing photography, the annoying thing about it is that there are a lot of people that don't know that they have tags or they forget what's tagged. Like
Mhm.
some people just like love hitting that go live button and like honestly no like more power to you. But like there are people with tags that they don't even know, right? Like there are
Mhm.
people that stream like, hey, I'm like chatting or like I'm doing a baking stream and it's like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and I'm like what are you doing?
Mhm.
Like do you not even stream, you know? But
Nah, fair.
not everybody's thinking about every little detail like before you go live, you know? Like having your stream information set before you go live so that when your notification goes out, it goes, they're streaming art or they're streaming just chatting, not, oh crap, I forgot to change it from COD. And then it's like, I'm doing photo edits and they're streaming Call of Duty. And it's like, Twitch doesn't know that you made that mistake, right? So, in the same way, I don't expect people to like constantly be adding or deleting tags from their own streams. And even like for
Well,
me, like if I'm gaming with another photographer or something like that, I will leave the tag, but if I don't put photography in the title, it just looks like we're just a bunch of people who just are gaming with the photography tag, and then you get, you know, more people going in and saying, "Oh, well these freaking people aren't even like doing photography," and it's the one day where we're not doing it. So sometimes to kind of like see what's going on, I'll go into somebody's stream who's gaming and I'm like, "So you're a photographer?" And they're like, "Yeah, actually I do this and that." And I'll like talk to them and be like and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like I've thought about like editing on stream or whatever." And I'll like encourage them to edit on stream and stuff because I'd
mhm.
like to see their work. Because chances are that it's not there randomly. They just
Mhm.
haven't, you know, been pushed in that direction maybe. So not that I would tell somebody to do it, but just be like, "Hey, I found you by this tag." And they're like, "Oh, that's weird. I stopped doing photography. I should get rid of that tag or whatever."
Mhm.
You know?
Well,
It
to
exists. Like,
devil's advocate, sometimes like I know some tags, like all right, you don't want to do like any of the big obvious tags there, but how photography is such a niche category tag itself that sometimes you want to have those like small little tags to catch viewers or something to that degree. So that's one way of how I've read it, of someone
yeah.
like just using it because like all right, it's, for lack of a better word, clickbait, just to have, because again, if you're
Yeah.
searching that photography, you're going to be popped up on that like small section there. So
I guess there is like part like you could do something like make like an inside uh like an insider tag. Like you have photography for like people that are tagging things or whatever,
mhm,
but have something instead of photography, have like photo fam or something like that.
mhm,
Like something that people would not use, but people who are connected to the community could use as like seeing who else is like within that
mhm.
or who knows, like I don't know, then we're just getting into like making another photography tag, but we're just clearing out the people who maybe streamed photography back in 2020 and haven't touched it since, you know.
Yeah. Actually, now like you're mentioning, it's like, wait, did I update the tags? Because I know I was doing it during work, but I'm like, did I update them now? So I'm like as I said, I've been juggling a lot of stuff.
I'll sometimes go into people's streams and like tease them, like if they're friends of mine, right? I'll be like,
okay,
oh, streaming with no tags today, and they're like, oh shoot, it reset. And I'm like, it's fine.
no, like no, and again, I do understand that
I'm like
aspect.
The tag police. I'll admit it.
The tag police. But as like again, I do understand like all like, especially if some people are playing some games and they're transitioning between games. How it's like kind of like that little bit where they might still have the last game still up.
Or have a good night. Good to see you.
Good night. So I don't know. It's like I understand that aspect in either some things, but I don't know. That's just something I've kind of noticed and has, I guess, not exactly bugged me, but just more just like something I'm just kind of curious in terms of that kind of work.
I think that definitely did play a part in wanting to do something a little bit different in how people find new people.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in the past, it was kind of like, well, if you're on the photography team, they had the bot set up so that whenever you went live, it would shout you out. So then to be a part of the team, they expect you to do 75% or whatever photo streaming, you know, because it shouts you out and you're on the team thing and yada, yada, yada. And it's kind of like in a way to like self-moderate itself.
Yeah.
But that was always like, it was always almost like too automated a lot of the time, and that's how like Discord kind of feels a lot of the time. It's too automated. Like there's no like, oh, so and so's live. Okay, cool, but like your bot doesn't. And like Cyronia specifically is like working on a photography like bot now, right? To like find new people and stuff like that, which is cool. But it is like a tricky thing. It like still needs like the human touch to go and find people, shout them out, screenshot it, do this and that, and then like basically the photo streams channel wanted it to be a place that took all the guesswork and the annoyance of, well, I'm searching the photography tag, but nobody's doing photography. It's like if you follow the photo streams channel specifically, you will miss no one, because I follow everyone, and I have followed every photographer and not unfollowed more than like 4 people over the last like 3 years. So every time somebody goes live, I'll double check to make sure if they're doing photo stuff, and then I'll shout them out. There's like tons of people that like haven't streamed for a year and a half that'll pop up and I'll shout them out. And of course, like people will miss it because again, it'd be crazy for me to expect people to be glued to the photo streams channel.
Yeah.
But if you go through there, I promise you, you will find people that you have not met before, because there's too many people. There's times where I'm shouting out 4 people at once, and I'm like, sorry, you got buried because all 4 of you went live at the same time.
Like, true.
It's a funny thing. There's both lots of people and no people at the same time. Like,
no, it's like it is that little niche, and it is that bit where it's like, all right, what is the timing, of everyone? And sometimes like I know sometimes there might be someone I might be able to raid regularly if they were like streaming around this time and maybe support them, or another person vice versa. But it is kind of like that bit where it's like, all right, casually check and look, and I'm like, no one right now, or something like that. But I think you're right. As long as it is kind of like, all right, following all the different people that that do a lot of photography, or at least any photography that intrigues you, maybe, and that at least helps give you that knowledge and just awareness. Like, all right, who's doing what, and just building network, I suppose. So I am a little.
Sorry, go on. Go.
I just know that I falter where it's like, I haven't been too glued to like my computer after work, whether it's like I am photo editing, like can have like, that's the other factor. It's like I like to try photo edit, and it's always like that back and forth. It's like, all right, photo editing, then back to try chat with someone, back to photo editing, back to this, and it is always like that little bit where like it was always like a little bit of tough to like do both at the same time. But then it's like, as I said, how either just my mental energy / social energy is like, I just want to just lay down and just play video games But I'm like trying to get a little better at like
Yeah.
trying to like pop in at people's streams and just trying to chat a little bit if I can, or even then just chat and lurk, if you will. And if it's one at a
Well, and
time,
it's
that's
like,
how
and
it is.
that's it. Yeah, and for me, it's like just everyone will have their different thing that they find like entertaining or relaxing or fun or what gives them energy. Like, not every person is gonna like feel the rush to go and like hang out in a stream for 5 to 10 minutes or whatever. And it's like some people are just gonna want a game. That's
Mhm.
fine too. Like, whatever you do to relax, and I just want to show people that there are people live. Basically, it's to
Mhm.
save again the search. Like some
Yeah.
people just want to vibe out, and they're like, I don't want to do the search, but if I knew that there was somebody live, maybe I'd go and hang out with them. But I don't
Mhm.
do the hunt.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, you do the hunt off stream to save on that energy, if you will. It's like prepping a little
yeah.
bit. You're off hunting.
Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. Well, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, I think that truly like the best like way for small streamers to grow is to start off by chatting casually on and off, like return to streams that you've chatted in before.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not like super chatty, just like say hi because whether you think it or not, people recognize names and colors better than you'd think. And they will recognize you and you can actually like have little conversations like to the most of your mental capacity, right? Like no one's asking you to go and like write, and talk about your love of the Epic of Gilgamesh or something like that. It's just like you're just hanging out. People like chatters want to get to know streamer. Like I personally want to get to know what my chatters are up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's interesting because I'm not the be all end all of entertainment. Like I don't just get energy by being in front of the camera. I have to get something back from chatters.
Mm-hmm.
But interacting with other people's streams and getting to know the community, but also if you are a streamer, stream with other people. Like literally
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing right now, or like find other streamers, have Discord audio set up in OBS so that you can take an impromptu call and chat on stream with people. Like I find that is so just engaging.
Yeah.
And it also like now that you've got like the shared chat thing, you don't even have to do the whole fancy stream together. You can just share your chat because
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunately you have to split chatter's attention. Everyone could go live on Tuesday evening and no
Mhm.
one gets to know anyone because you just hunker down in one chat. And then the most popular one with the most amount of like chatters is the one that like wins, and somebody will be like doing amazing retouching work and has a lot to share, but all of their friends are in another chat. It's like, well, shoot, I want to like support them, but they're having fun over there. And it's
Yeah,
like just
fair.
kick down the fence between you and your neighbor's yard and just like have a cookout.
I was gonna say, wasn't that
So
I think that was a
I think
Super
that the
Bowl ad,
stream
actually.
together thing really helps with that.
No, and yeah, no,
Was
believe
it?
me, I was like, no, I think there was like some Super Bowl ad, I think, where of course I'm blinking it because some of them were great, some of them were like forgettable. I
Is it the
forget what
Bud
it was.
Light Shane Gillis one?
Maybe that might be it. It was it was definitely a beer commercial. It was a beer commercial, I remember. But in case the rest are off. So we were talking about like different genres and things that you want to do. What is like either a type of shoot that you want to do, or any particular location that you would want to try to do or shoot at, if you will? Because again, as you say, you do like a lot of traveling around a little bit. If money wasn't an issue, where would you like to try to go and travel and photograph at?
Well, actually, like Also, Da Vinci, yeah, absolutely. It'd be really fun to do a. You should talk to Eric because you guys both do cosplay photos. You guys could
Oh, Nani?
do one of
Ooh,
these snap and chats sometime.
yeah. As I said, I'm alternating between my local network and trying to get, not to say the obscure, but at least the people out of my network, if you will.
Yeah. The what was it? What was it gonna say? The right now, if money wasn't an object, I would love to go and do some like actual epic landscape stuff. Like I'd love to go to
Mm,
Scotland. I'd love to go to the Faroe Islands. I'd love to.
mm.
Kira, hey. You get startled when she's really sleepy and like pushing on my arm there.
Oh,
Hey,
oh.
go to sleep.
And I don't know where. Oh, I see
Oh,
my
it's okay.
my son. He's eating. He's been hanging with mommy, which I was like, yeah, fair. I'm like, I'm so jealous how your
Yeah,
cat is
but
just like chilling right on you. I'm like, I've been trying to teach Hanky, be like, hey, come here, I'll give you treats if you hang with daddy. And then he just either hangs here or there. He's still young though. He's still like 1.5. He's still 1.5. So
oh, okay. Cute. But yeah, probably a big epic landscape place, or ever since I was a kid, which should have been my big tip off. When people asked what you wanted to do when you grew up, I always told them I want to be an underwater photographer. Like I want to be
no.
like I want to take photos of like whales and fish and shoot for like National Geographic. Like I was obsessed with like the Oceans VHS National Geographic Kids video where
Mm.
like they would like run through like you know it was sad because like then when I got older and the Great Barrier Reef is like dying and I was
Oh
like
yeah.
when I was a kid it was like Finding Nemo, and now it's like all white and dead and whatever and it's
Mm.
like really sad. um I know not everywhere, but it was kind of one of those things where I was like, I'd love to go to Australia and shoot the reef. Like that was something I wanted to do when I was like 9 years old.
Mm.
Like, and then when I got into school, it was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I wanted to be a marine photographer or something like that. But in my head, I was like, that's not a real job. So you should be a marine biologist. And then I like looked a little bit into that and was like, you have to have like 11 doctorates to do that. And I was like, I'm stupid though. So then I
Oh.
didn't do that and I did music instead. And and like a lot of people who do opera, they wanted to be a marine biologist and then just like did creative stuff. It's like really weird how many people wanted to be marine biologists and then became musicians.
Funny
But
on there.
yeah, I think if money was no object, I think I'd love to get like a proper uh camera, like an underwater camera setup
Mm-hmm.
and go shoot some sea turtles, like
Ooh.
so sick, man. Like I think that's like the ultimate like one day that'd be really cool. That'll be like the bookend of my creative content creator journey is like build it, be financially capable to do something, and then eventually just sail
Do
off
whatever
into
you
the sunset,
want.
quite literally,
Oh my
and
goodness.
then take photos of like sea turtles and whales and just never come back. That
Oh my
would
goodness.
be it'd be just the end of Return of the King, but it's just me gonna
Return
go
the
off into the east and then jump off and take pictures of whales.
Wait, I thought it was the West. Into the West. Wasn't
Oh, it is the West.
it? I rip your token card.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah, no,
it's all right.
the
No, it's fun. No, it's all right. It's all right. So I think I'm
I have
kind
a friend
of
that's an archaeologist that has done some underwater dives to Wrexham Lake Superior. That's really cool. Also, sorry, we turned off the audio channel things because they get really distracting. But
No.
are you done for the night? You got to go and do stuff. Probably. It's
Yeah,
3.5
like
hours.
I'm smelling dinner shortly, but I do have a few questions to ask, and I also got to wake up early tomorrow, and also be a manager tomorrow now as well. So I got a lot of stuff, but I kind of think I've wrapped up to the majority of my questions, got through some decent amount of photos, had some great sidetracks and conversations. But yeah, so I have my last couple questions here. So, you're still streaming? You're going to continue streaming, is that correct? Like after I'm done?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good to know. So anyways, any fun projects that you have planned coming up in the future at all that you'd like to share?
Ooh. Nothing super crazy. I have a shoot. I just had a coffee meeting with a friend of mine this morning for like a quartet shoot that's actually going to be like a planned portrait shoot. We're going to go to a location. There's some like ideas and mood boards and stuff, and they've got hair and makeup and stuff, so it'll be more of a group involved thing, which is just cool. So that'll be fun. We'll do that. The next thing is I will be flying back out to Saskatchewan in a few-ish weeks. And I'm gonna be working on the farm again, which is fun because just getting ready for seeding and stuff like that. So there will be more Farmer Maple IRL streams.
Oh, nice.
Which I have gotten down to a pretty exact science when it comes to the tech side of things. It gets better every year. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. Also, hello.
Yep, hello Hinky. Say hi. Hinky, say hi. You've been camera shy this stream. You haven't been on here too much. My little orange boy.
Oh, hello. How old is he?
So his birthday is September 13th. So he's 1 month and 4 months old, give or take. He's at least over a year. He's over a year. Oh, there he goes. He's gonna start. He's a very inquisitive.
Yeah,
he's very inquisitive.
She's like a year. She'll be like maybe 2 in the summer. I don't know.
Okay, good. Hank, no, not on the number pad, Hanky. Not on the number pad. I should just keep this unlocked.
Just so many hotkeys.
No, exactly.
What about you for my stream people? Do you have anything you want to shout out or have any strong convictions on that you want to?
So I'm gonna be busy with a couple of conventions. Like literally next week, I'm going to Anime Milwaukee for and helping out with a photo booth that my group Cos Meetup is hosting. So I'm gonna be busy with that. Then another convention that is a local college convention. Then conventions here. I just know like the big thing I'm planning is that this September, my girlfriend and I were traveling out to Ireland and then to Zurich.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, because she has a friend who's getting married who lives in Zurich. So we're like, all right, we're flying out, and she got asked to be maid of honor. I think, yeah, she's a maid of honor. Either way, in the bridal party. So it's like she has to go. So we're like, all right, might as well go to Ireland, spend a couple days there, and spend a couple days in Zurich. So that's at least the big stuff right there. Kind of like that fun bit there, and then just take care of my little hinky son. And yeah, that's about it. So for at least my followers, where can people follow you?
Twitch is the most probably the most like relevant place to follow me. You can follow my Instagram at ibfreezin, which is IBFREEZIN. However, I have made it almost like a contest to see how long I can not post. And Tom Vault will yell at me every time that we go live to post, and I just refuse to because I don't know what it is. It's like I think if I had always been a photographer, it would be different. But like because a lot of my like when I was late to the Instagram party to begin with.
No,
Second, I'm an
same.
opera singer, so like a lot of the people that follow me are like they know me as like a singer and stuff like that, but also like a lot of them I've worked with as like a photographer and like video person and multimedia and whatnot. So like
Mhm.
I do post pictures, but like I also like the more I post pictures, I feel like it also tells people, oh, they're taking so many photos. That's great. They must have stopped singing.
Mm.
So it's kind of like this, like, I'm just gonna leave my Instagram there to show people that I don't suck and like have an eye for things and then,
Mm.
get work by word of mouth. I know that
Fair.
there are more efficient ways to like have a career uh in photography or whatever, but it's like when I know truly that for these events and stuff that the opera's doing or another thing is doing, it's like they have a budget for a photographer and they like me and they keep hiring me to do stuff. It's like I don't and it's like stuff I like to do. So it's not like I'm like trying to impress some wedding people that I don't know so that I can shoot their wedding. Sure, it'll be like a bigger budget, but then I'm like constantly dealing with people that have expectations that, I may or may not be like I'm an anxious person, so like I don't particularly love like jumping into a new pool every time, and it's like
Mhm.
so maybe one day, but like for right now, I'm happy enough just vibing out with my word of mouth stuff. And in the time where I don't have work, I get to stream. So
Mm.
that's fun.
Vibing and living.
So
So, any
yeah.
last words that you want to say before I clock out?
Please like me. No, I'm just kidding. No, you guys go follow Eric too. And if you guys are, if you want to do more of this kind of talk stuff, oh yeah. And what I was saying was like before, I want to double down on it. These kind of streams are genuinely really, really good for community and also for keeping things fresh, even for yourselves. Like if you're
Mhm.
editing photos, like I haven't edited photos on stream in like, sorry, Kira, I hit my chest and you freaked out. The uh I haven't edited photos in like a long time because most of my streams have been just like a decompression from the work that I've been doing, which is like typically photo work. But then in the meantime, I've like been finding so many new photo streamers that there have been nights where I thought about streaming and then just ended up sitting in other people's streams for like the whole evening and then helping them out in
Yeah.
Discord, getting their mic set up. And I'm like, I'll just stream tomorrow. I'll stream the next day. So like I realize that I'm a chatty Cathy and I like to chat with people, but I also like the more you stream together with people, the more everybody grows. So be open to people, but also take care of yourselves and don't overextend and don't feel like you need to like do a certain amount of things. It's like to succeed on Twitch as a photographer, you need to have a schedule and you need to do this and you need to be doing that. It's like who cares?
Schedule.
The
What's
community
that?
is so
God knows
small
I'm
that
on
it,
it.
it it literally doesn't matter. Like just follow people, check out the photo streams channel, fun stuff like that, and
Yes.
have fun.
Sched-
I also
Schedule.
like
What's
I like
that?
I
I
like
have not
gaming and stuff
followed.
too. So like I like gaming, just game. Do it.
Mhm.
I actually before you go, I'll tell you I have a new setup for gaming now, which I hadn't thought about before. I'm gonna take a music stand with my laptop right here, like off of my desk, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
run the signal from my laptop into my Camlink Pro, which is hooked into my PCIe slot. So
Mhm.
I can just like run the game on my laptop.
Oh,
Like I
nice.
was I was trying to like wirelessly send signals and do this and that and make it overcomplicated. And I was like, I could just plug it into my computer. I'm so stupid. Like just just now I can play these games at least at 1080p 60 and not like
Like
kill my computer trying to play 7 Days to Die.
with a capture card,
Can't believe it took
like
me
Elgato.
3-4 years to figure that out.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun there. Well, Mapleglades, thank you so much for being a guest on tonight's show. So much for impacting not only your story of photography, but just words of wisdom, especially for streaming. Do you have any advice on cats on stream, as Hanky is eating my cord right now? Any suggestions? I know, like, one thing where it's like, I wish I could make it
when they pop up and they're being cute, use them.
No, that's true.
If you're overbearing, just bring the cat out, and they're like, oh, okay, like,
no,
it's okay. It just puts everybody at ease, unless your cat is like freaking out.
No,
she's been really good tonight for the most part, which is great. She hasn't been like screaming and running around. She will later after stream, because she's
Hanky has his moments. Sometimes he'll like want attention. And of course now now he's getting into playful mode. Oh my goodness. he's okay, Hanky.
It's okay. You can go.
I know. So thank you so much for thank you so okay, now he's going. All right, are you leaving now? Okay, good. Well, no, thank you so much.
Looking forward to more of these. Do these more, man. Like, when you can afford them, and also like, it doesn't have to be on a specific day. People will turn up.
No, like,
because we know everyone. Like, they're just happy when you're here. You know?
I think monthly has, as I was like wondering back and forth, it's like, do I make this a bi-weekly or do I just make this monthly? I'm like, monthly, it just works with my schedule a lot more, and just
monthly with surprises. The option for surprises. If something comes up, don't feel like you need to slam it into that monthly slot. If something comes up on a Wednesday and it's open, do a surprise one. They're fun. We'll take it. You know?
No. But no, so thank you so much, Mapleglades,
no problem,
for coming in. For those who do want to suggest anyone for the future streams, I do have a Google form for that. But no, thank you so much. I will end the call here, and I hope you a great rest of your night. So,
yeah,
and I'm gonna do my little close off
Thanks
separately.
for coming to hang out. Go drink some water. Go stretch your legs.
And I gotta go on. And I also got to go to another meeting. That's another factor as well. So I'm jumping from one call to another call.
Goodbye.
So
go.
Good night. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
Man. See ya.
Bye. All right. I think, let me go to full screen there. I'll end the stream together, or did I? I don't know if I did or not. Hold on. I mean, I'm going to be ending it shortly. Oh no, I think I did. I have no idea. So thank you again so much for Mapleglades for coming in for tonight's special stream. Let's see if this actually works. I don't know if things are acting a little weird on my stream. Is the audio going to pop in? As I said, I need to work some things out. And no, thank you for everyone who did pop in. We got a lot of photos. We got a lot of photos added to the photo wall. How many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 photos to add. So I'm excited for this, especially as we're having guests coming in tomorrow to stay. So more to add to it, so it looks a little bit more coherent. But yeah, go please follow Mapleglades on his socials there. In fact, I might try to raid. I don't know if he knows this, but I'm going to try to raid him just to keep the vibes going. So if you've enjoyed Mapleglades, go follow, support him, all that fun stuff right there. I can't tell. Wait, do I still have, or do I have the stream together? Oh goodness, I need to try to figure out if I can fix this a little bit. I'm a mess right now. Hold on, let's see. Do I have it up? I don't know if I do have it up. Okay, there we go. And stream together. There we go. But yeah, no, so it was a great one and all that fun stuff. And yeah, definitely hoping to continue these Snap and Chat streams. As I said, maybe I'm keeping it monthly, maybe could be bi-monthly with surprises. Who knows? But I think I have an idea who my next guest will be on the next stream. But so keep a close tune on that. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming next week because Sunday's Oscars, got busy with that. Tuesday, I have a dentist appointment to go to. And then Thursday, I'm going to be at Anime Milwaukee. So I'm probably not going to be streaming until the following week prior. So I'll keep everyone updated on that fun stuff. Hanky. Oh my God. Yeah. It's getting close to his play feed time. So I got to keep him occupied with that. So as I said, we're going to be rating Mapleglades Forget it. I'm like trying to pull onto this for a second. Yeah, let's give him a good raid. Get that started there. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh goodness gracious me. So thank you again for everyone who tuned in, who chilled, chatted, or just lurked. We always appreciate the lurks right here. And yeah, so I'm excited to host the next one there. So everyone be safe, be well. And I'll see you on the next stream. Hanky, no. Get out. Don't go in the back there. All right.